Hi guys, thank you for joining the live stream. I hope the audio is fine, right? Yeah, so we don't have HD anymore because my subscription has run out again. So it's going to look pretty bad when there's no HD. We love HD, don't we? Oh my god, why is... So, I'm obviously back after a long time for a number of reasons. Firstly, I got some the Durga Puja song arrangement work, some background score stuff, and had to do a lot of stuff associated with the Kal Bhairavashtakam project. And frankly, I thought I haven't been following politics all that much because I just wasn't seeing the point in any of it because I don't think it was a very important news cycle, to be honest. I mean, yes, there was a plane crash and stuff, but not that stuff that we can analyze and stuff or talk about or have a clear direction about calling it right or wrong. Those things did not really happen. Yeah, Gautam, video interaction for members as well as the live chat people. Okay, so today the main topic of discussion today is whatever you guys bring up. Okay, y'all can update me on whatever you think was very important and I might have missed and needs to be discussed. So y'all keep bringing up topics and y'all can join. Obviously, if you're a paid member of this channel, you can join the conversation directly. The link has been given for the members in the community tab, and everyone else can talk in the live chat. Yeah, no intro and no outro music today because the subscription has run out. StreamYard provides that to only rich people. There's no equality, bro. We are getting discriminated against. So the first topic I wanted to get into myself was the Bengal Files teaser. What a great teaser. I honestly did not think I was going to watch Bengal Files, okay? Because I thought, yeah, Direct Action Day was bad, and I know Vivek Agnihotri's tone and stuff. I know what he's going to say. Do I really need to see it to find out about it and spend my money there? Yeah, obviously you can argue the supporting non-left filmmakers case, but I only watch when I'm very, very, very interested to watch that movie, not for support's sake. Now, there are this movie now, Bengal Files, now becomes the third movie ever which I'm going to watch just because of the teaser and the music in the teaser. The other two was Uri and Kantara. Those two, Kantara and Uri, were also movies that I had planned to not watch. Uri I did not plan to watch. I thought, yeah, my country is best, my Indian army is best. That sort of a story will be there. There might not be anything to watch because I was thinking it's going to be a glorified border, no, from the yesteryears. So the only reason I watched Uri was because in the end there was a complete increased volume. Okay. The only reason I watched Uri was because the heavy metal riff and completely heavy metal, progressive metal drumming and stuff in the end of the teaser because of the Challa soundtrack, Challa song. Okay, that made me think, wait, what? This seems to be a different kind of a war movie. So therefore, let's go to watch it. Or zyada. Then it might not be a mic problem. It might be StreamYard HD thing problem, I guess. Hello. Hello. Yeah, this seems good. So, and there was one other thing in the Uri Surgical Strike teaser that I had, and the trailer as well, which had really impressed me. There was one shot of us from the audience POV, as if we are sitting on top of the missile itself, which was getting launched into the Indian Army's camp in Uri. Okay, that scene. That was something I had never seen in Indian filmmaking and Indian action movies, Indian war movies. And I am big time into war movies. Lone Survivor and 13 Hours, in my personal opinion, are the two best military movies ever made. So even I had to go watch Uri because of the stuff they showed in the trailer. The other one was Kantara. I had never heard of the project Kantara. I had never heard of Rishabh Shetty. I only knew of Hombale because of KGF, and I knew they are some sort of masala film producing house. I had not heard of Garuda Gaman of Rishabha Vahana. Now people start talking about it in filmmaking circles, music circles, and political circles. Someone who had, I think, who's that Goanese woman, right-wing speaker sort of a person who lives in Pune? The woman who often hosts the debates between Jesai Deepak and people, okay? Shweta or Shwetal, I think that woman had spoken about Kantara and said that, yeah, see, Bollywood can never do a movie like this. That got me curious. Yes, Shefali Vaidya. So, because of her tweet, I checked out the teaser, and in the teaser, तो भाई, I lost my mind. What is this? What am I even watching in the teaser? So for that reason, I went to watch Kantara, and then Kantara became the only movie in my life other than Interstellar which I watched thrice in the movie theaters, and now Bengal Files. I did not think it was going to be this good. I really thought it's going to be pretty predictable, expected. Yes, bad stuff happened in Bengal, stuff like that. I had no idea if this was going to pull me to the theater. Now I have to watch Bengal Files if at all it releases. But see, why was I mainly impressed with the Bengal Files teaser is because ever since Avengers Endgame 1, I think Endgame 1 teaser, or even Inception to a certain extent, all of those movies, that entire decade, changed trailer and teaser music forever. Trailers and teasers forever in every movie industry used to be very, very creative. It was a very, very challenging task that you have to give a rough vibe or gist of the story of a 2 hour, 2 or 3 hour movie in that 1 minute or 30 second. Okay. So some people give a gist of the movie, some people just give a vibe of the movie. Earlier it used to be mainly vibe. Today it's almost a gist कि ये होगा, ये मरेगा, सब कुछ बोल दिया पहले, क्योंकि इतना इनसिक्योरिटी है मेकर्स के दिल में आजकल. तो after Endgame and stuff, the trailers and teasers of all movies in all over the world became exactly similar. There will be something called Brahm. Okay, it's called Brahm because it sounds like a Brahm. By Brahm I mean the brass horns, loud sections in the Inception movie soundtrack. Okay, वहां से उस sound का नाम ही हो गया है Brahm. It's just a huge powerful hit on the brass sections, which is and there will be sub bass drum hits and ये होगा, एक कट होगा और फिल्म का वाइब मुझको लेना है. अच्छा कुछ बढ़िया होने वाला है, ब्राह्म ही है तो कुछ बढ़िया ही होगा. तब अगर वो हर इंग्लिश मूवी में और हर हिंदी मूवी में, हर बंगाली मूवी में ऐसा ही होता रहे, तब कोई एक्साइटमेंट नहीं रहता है. तो बहुत दिन बाद एक ऐसा टीजर दिखा जहाँ पे वो ये सब कुछ है ही नहीं, और जो कि जिसलिए मुझे सावरकर का ट्रेलर पसंद नहीं आया था अप अंटिल द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ट्रेलर, क्योंकि सावरकर के ट्रेलर के फर्स्ट हाफ में भी वही था ये से. सेकेंड हाफ में तो सावरकर के ट्रेलर में वो बढ़िया म्यूजिक घुस गया था, वो सब घुस गया, तब पूरा एक अलग वाइब हो गया. मगर बंगाल फाइल्स में क्या पकड़ा है, विवेक अग्निहोत्री इतना जीनियस डायरेक्टर है, मगर लेफ्ट के आर्टिस्ट सर्कल में तो कोई अब उनको रेस्पेक्ट से नहीं लेंगे. फिर कभी ना कभी शायद लेंगे अगर ऐसा ही पॉलिटिकल ओवरटर्न विंडो हमारा चलता है. मगर दिस इज गुड फिल्म मेकिंग स्टफ गाइस. दिस इज रियल ब्यूटीफुल स्टफ. कि देखो, मूड है मेलंकली, पहले ही वर्डिक्ट खुद ने उसको, कोई क्लिक बेट नहीं है, कोई बेट एंड स्विच नहीं है, पूरी दुख भरी कहानी होने वाली है. आप आइए देखिए, दुख भरी कहानी ही देखिए. तो उसका मूड भी हम आपको बता रहे हैं. देखिए पूरा का शुरू से एंड तक एक सोलो चेलो, जो कि कश्मीर फाइल्स का भी एक रिकॉर्डिंग मोटिव था कि एक सोलो चेलो एंड में जाके और थोड़ा स्ट्रिंग्स एसोसिएटेड हो जाता है, एड ऑन करता है उस लेयर के ऊपर. और वो सोलो तो मुझे तो लगा सॉफ्टवेयर का चेलो है, क्योंकि मेरा खुद का भी एक सॉफ्टवेयर मैं यूज़ करता हूँ, टोन तो डिटो सेम लगा वो वाले से. वो है टीना गुओ नाम की एक चेलो प्लेयर है जो हैंस जिमर के साथ बजाती है, लाइव में भी रिकॉर्डिंग्स में भी. वंडर वुमन का जो वो सब मेलोडी उनका ही बजाया हुआ है. शी इज़ अ चाइनीज डिसेंडेंट अमेरिकन. ओके, तो टीना गुओ हैज़ अ सॉफ्टवेयर ऑफ हर ओन, where not her own company, she was hired to play the single notes which now you can play in the MIDI keyboard and have a solo tone that sounds solo cello tone that sounds kind of like her playing, almost like her playing. तो वही यूज़ हुआ है शायद. मगर कुछ लाइंस ऐसे बजाया गया है वहाँ पे जो कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि कैसे हुआ. शायद ब्लेंड किया है, एक्चुअल चेलो प्लेयर भी है और सॉफ्टवेयर का चेलो भी है, क्योंकि कुछ प्लेइंग वहाँ पे कुछ फास्ट लाइंस है जो कि वो सॉफ्टवेयर में, टीना गुओ के सॉफ्टवेयर में नहीं होता है. मगर क्या ब्यूटीफुल आइडिया. पहली बात, पूरा का पूरा सोलो मेलंकली चलो, और वही पकड़ के रखा है, कोई धूमधाम डिश ये सब नहीं है. और मेन जो सीन है I again had absolutely no hope. First of all, I didn't know Gopal Pata was going to be one of the characters in the movie. If at all he was going to be portrayed, did not have that high of a hope that yeah, he will be shown as some angry rough guy who did save Hindus that day. My God, yeah, it's a significant situation, but movie में ऐसा क्या होगा? And to my utter disbelief, the best scene in that teaser is the Gopal Patha scene. And from a guy, Saurabh Das, who does so many roles in Tollywood. Yeah, they are great roles. He's a good actor, but Tollywood's way of functioning is such that even the best people will do mediocre work. तो सुजीत मुखर्जी डज ग्रेट हिंदी वेब सीरीज एंड स्टफ शर्लॉक होम्स के ऊपर बेस करके, और बंगाली में जो बनाते हैं वो मतलब 2 साल का बच्चा भी उनका क्राइम थ्रिलर देख के 10 मिनट में बता देगा कि खूनी कौन है, क्योंकि टाइम नहीं है, बजट नहीं है, ऐसा है। तो सौरभ दास ही अल्टीमेटली टॉलीवुड का ही एक्टर गोपाल पाठा का इतना बढ़िया एक्सप्रेशन उस सीन में देगा, मुझे तो कोई ज़ीरो एक्सपेक्टेशन था। और वो फ्रेम में सौरभ दास का भी तो सिर्फ अकेले का क्रेडिट नहीं है, क्या बड़ा बढ़िया शॉट सिलेक्शन है, क्या बढ़िया सेटअप है, पीछे सब है, उसका उसका चीखने का एक्सप्रेशन बढ़िया है, कलर क्या कलर है, आहा, पूरा कश्मीर फाइल्स का पूरा वाइब मुझे दिख रहा है। और मैं तो कश्मीर फाइल्स देखने के बाद से ही सोच रहा था कि पहली बात तो मुझे वो कश्मीर फाइल्स का जो जॉनर है वो जॉनर मुझे बहुत पसंद है, जो कि इंडियन मेन स्ट्रीम में बहुत ही अनपॉपुलर जॉनर है। तो बहुत लोग बोल रहे थे कि हाँ फिल्म के तौर से उतना उतना बढ़िया नहीं है, मगर चलो ठीक है, इस बात पे बात होना चाहिए था टॉपिक पे, इसलिए वो हम देख रहे हैं। एंड थैंक यू विवेक अग्निहोत्री। मुझे तो वो जॉनर भी बहुत बहुत पसंद है। मैं तो इसे नेटफ्लिक्स जॉनरा बोलता हूँ। नेटफ्लिक्स ने ही ये जॉनरा को पॉपुलराइज किया था। ये मिनिमलिस्ट नॉर्डिक काइंड ऑफ एक वाइब का फिल्म मेकिंग, कलर, साउंड डिज़ाइन, बैकग्राउंड स्कोर, सभी वो मिनिमलिस्ट यूरोपियन, वो मतलब नॉर्डिक एरिया का ही फिल्म जैसा है कश्मीर फाइल्स का। तो वो देख के मुझे लगता था कि तो ये विवेक अग्निहोत्री आज तक बॉलीवुड में क्या चुतियापा कर रहा था, ये कश्मीर फाइल्स क्या है और बाकी सब उनका काम क्या है। तो मैंने तो बुद्धा इन ट्रैफिक जब नहीं देखा है, ताशकंद फाइल्स भी मैंने बाद में देखा है, थोड़ा पहला आधा घंटा, मतलब वैसा कुछ सिग्निफिकेंटली स्पेशल नहीं लगा मुझे फिल्म मेकिंग के नज़रिए से। तो चॉकलेट तो कूल एक मूवी था, मगर जब रिलीज़ किया था उस ज़माने के लिए बहुत एक अलग तरह का कूल मूवी ही था। आज के ज़माने में अगर हम चॉकलेट फिर से देखने बैठे तो वो मज़ा भी नहीं आएगा उतना। तो तो मैंने सोचा कि अच्छा, बहुत बहुत कुछ स्किल डेवलपमेंट किया होगा इस बीच में कश्मीर फाइल्स के बनाने से जस्ट पहले। तो बाद में पता चला कि बॉलीवुड में उनको अपने क्रिएटिविटी से काम करने दिया नहीं जाता था, तो वो अपना पूरा स्किल नहीं दिखा पाए। ये तो हर आदमी का ही कंप्लेन है बॉलीवुड में, टॉलीवुड में। तो अब कश्मीर फाइल्स बना रहे हैं वो, शायद उनके ऊपर फाइनली और कोई उतना प्रेशर नहीं है, अब बेस्ट काम निकल रहा है उनके हाथ से। तो अब बंगाल फाइल्स में ऐसा जो म्यूज़िक है, ऐसा शॉर्ट सिलेक्शन, ऐसा कलर करेक्शन, ऐसा सब फ्रेम का सेटअप सोचना, और ये डिसीजन लेना कि ऐसा ही सिर्फ एक मेलंकली म्यूजिक से ही हम पूरा टीजर दिखा देंगे, और जो गोपाल पाठा का सीन है इस वजह से हमको तो बंगाल फाइल्स देखना पड़ेगा, और आशा है कि आप लोग सब देखेंगे। नाउ वी विल डिस्कस वेदर वी विल बी एबल टू इवन सी इट एट ऑल इन बंगाल। नाउ academic man has joined for 10 minutes. Let's have him on. Where is he? Oh, I think he muted it by himself. Yeah, here he is. Yeah. Hi, academic.
Yeah, yeah. Is it working? Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the pitch?
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
fine.
I gotta say that as someone who's actually watched all of his movies, except Chocolate. Actually, Chocolate was a sasta copy of Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
I have to say he's actually become much better as a filmmaker recently. Actually, Buddha in a Traffic Jam, I felt that the concept was really great, but he kind of rushed the last like half an hour. Okay, like it felt like paisa khatam ho gaya, so he had to rush the shooting. I did not personally like that. I felt his most overrated movie recently of the indie queen movies that he has made is that thing, Tashkent Files. It's a more, I did not like the drama in it, like matlab the shouting and all that stuff. I don't like so much melodrama in my docudrama type movies. Now, with Kashmir Files, I think he made something that was totally different. Like as you said, like Kashmir Files blew my mind. Apart from that, I think one of his like the best movie he actually made is the most underrated one, Vaccine Wars. Okay, Vaccine Wars is his
Hmm.
best made movie, and very few people watched it. Huh.
Yeah.
And I think you all should watch it if you can. It is a very well made movie, very good background music. Sometimes there's no music at all, for example, okay, in some of the more important scenes. The research was really good, well done. The acting was not melodramatic at all, okay. It seemed very like it seemed like a proper docudrama, like something Netflix or Amazon Prime would spend a lot of money on, that kind of thing, okay. Now the thing is, um, the the thing that I want to say is that I think that it's not a question of whether the film will get released in West Bengal or not. Let us assume the negative here, that it will not get released. The problem, the thing I see, the hopeful thing I see here is I think it these days movies come out on Telegram and some other platforms every now and then. YouTube make clips, wagera, and all that stuff happens, torrents and stuff. So I personally believe that maybe 2 3 months after the release, maybe 2 months after the release, once the profits and all are recovered and they make a good profit and all,
Hmm.
I think he will release parts of it on, like, I don't know whether he will do it. I can't say that, but I think some people might release parts of it online. Okay.
Obviously.
Mm, Otherwise, there's no other way, and I have a belief that that will be a very strong way of attracting people towards it, and then it might release fully on OTT, and they'll definitely. There's one demographic people haven't accounted for. Most Bengalis, the educated Bengalis, they live outside West Bengal. Okay, so that because of just because of FOMO, maybe
Hmm.
just to abuse the movie, many people will watch it, and many of them. And I tell you one thing else as well. The educated Bengali people, they're what whoever was left in the leftist cabal and stuff, whoever still was leftist. I'm telling you that there is a fundamental change after Bangladesh and Murshidabad and all that. Okay, a lot of things have gone wrong in the last few years
Hmm.
for the left in Bengal, and their narratives and of Aki Brinte, beautiful and stuff, crap like that. This, I'm telling you, the Bengalis outside Bengal will make this a hit. Okay,
Hmm.
ये तो एक है ही. Other than that, it will be a. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's enough people right now in India, all the subscribers of these different channels of Ajit Bharti and all this. Even if these people watch it, I think it will be a super hit.
Hmm.
So if just
Yeah.
the subscribers of Ajit Bharti watch it in the movie halls, yeah, ऐसे ही super hit होने वाला है. So it doesn't matter. I think 300, 400 crores easy.
Hmm.
Let alone, so the thing that will happen in West Bengal is, I think, even if it is banned officially, then it will go to Supreme Court and get unbanned or something. एक आध शो रख देंगे कहीं, मतलब that's what they keep doing in West Bengal. They'll keep it in some hall near Barashat or something where
It's
nobody
not
will go
going to
to.
be officially banned. No. Just cinema
No,
halls are going to get threats that don't put it up.
maybe, yeah, maybe in one hall in the middle of nowhere they'll play it,
Exactly.
so nobody will go and
Yeah.
watch it. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So don't expect it to recover any money in West Bengal, but I
Hmm.
have a feeling it will definitely recover money in Bangalore and parts of Delhi, Bombay, all these places. It will do really well.
Hmm.
Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, all these places. It will do quite
Hmm.
well. Yeah, that's all. Basically, these things will happen. I also have another feeling
Hmm.
that if the theaters are attacked, as some of the people are claiming in the this thing in the comments, that's something the TMC won't want. That will only all it will take is one video on social media, and it will only make the film a bigger hit. I don't think TMC will want that. So I have no idea how it will work in Bengal. We can't predict that, but I believe that. Agnihotri is a great director right now, and he is world class. Uh, one of the best, and his research is spot on. And what he's done,
Yes.
what is very interesting is that he has actually used a lot of leftist sources for his movie. Okay, so
Yeah.
stuff. He when he showed her the sources of his information, I noticed a lot of books by the left, including Joya Chatterjee's Bengal Divided and all. Okay. So these are all leftist books. So it's not like, and he deliberately shows all these leftist sources. Huh? And
Yes.
he understands the value of that. Like, that is why I love him so much. Like, he understands that without the left's research, without the left's points, you can't really make a lot of points regarding these issues. Okay.
Yeah, I think I
So,
have a prediction that he is going to lean into BBK stuff heavily, because first of all, we know he is getting educated by. I think he himself mentioned, right? He was
yeah,
like,
what happened to the Bhadralooks? He won't say
yeah,
BBK like you, he will say Bhadralook. Okay.
he has said BBK in that video itself. So in
Ah,
the
but he won't.
movie, it's going to
I
be
can
said.
guarantee you, he won't target particularly. Like, he will say Bhadralok. I don't like. I don't think, except you, people will publicly say that repeatedly to kind of emphasize the very the individual castes. वैसे भद्रलोक is a caste anyway, so it doesn't make a lot of
But,
difference per se.
and Vivek Agnihotri is intelligent enough to not have to repeatedly say that, see, they are Brahmins with those castes. He's just going to highlight their
हाँ
surnames.
हाँ
And we have
शायद एक आध
seen,
वो कर देंगे हाँ हाँ
we have already seen in the teaser that there is one Roy Chaudhary, one is Banerjee. We don't know what their roles are. If they end up being villains, some way or the other, then we know he's going to play that BBK politics, because he has recently been gathering knowledge on this. He has been making videos on this. Therefore, I think there's definitely something in the works.
अच्छा, you guys are talking about a lot about Saurav Das. You guys aren't mentioning Shashwat. Shashwat is also there in the movie.
Why is he significant?
Shashwat Chatterjee, bro. He's one of the biggest Bengali
Oh no,
stars
no,
right
they are
now.
talking about Shourab Dash because Shourab is from Trinamool. That's why he is
तृणमूल
more
से
significant.
सभी तृणमूल से ही है. In West
Yeah,
Bengal, if you're getting work in the film industry, you are TMC. That is not a
yeah.
big deal.
Yeah,
But I
Harshata
think
is
that
still not officially Trinamool. Saurabh Dash used to be officially
Shashwat
Trinamool.
is too big. Shashwat is too big to be TMC. But
Yeah,
Shashwat frequently works with Raj Chakraborty and these kind of people. So I don't know.
yeah,
There's a very weird thing about Bengal files that, I mean, that we're not considering. It's a very interesting fact. People can't deny partition because there's a very large, like a lot of the leftist uh, literature, so to speak. There are still theses, academic theses, and books being written about the partition, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि you can just deny, जैसे कश्मीर का you can just deny outright because nobody is talking about it, so you can just say it never happened. Okay, fake propaganda हुआ है. But you can't deny partition. That is the funny thing. You can't say that it never happened. In fact, the left has written way more books than the right on partition, right? So there is definitely something very, there is a legitimacy of the narrative, if I can say that. Huh.
yeah.
And
Do you
and
think this movie will have some influence on Bengal elections?
perhaps ये तो हमारा पेट थ्योरी है. हाँ, ठीक है.
No, I don't think it will have any effect, because
I
first of all,
mean,
people are
it
not
will
going to watch it.
definitely have an effect. वो देख लेते हैं ना. I told you it's not. Let's say, okay, let's get down to brass tacks in Bengal for 2 minutes. Okay, just for 2 minutes, I'll say what I have to. So in Bengal, it's not a democratic game per se. So there's not. It's not like democratic voting will and propaganda will sway elections. As a, so it won't work that way. Uh, I think it's about whether the central government wants it or not. I've said it in the past. I say it again. Okay, so it's about whether the central government will want it or not. And with 42 seats, and Modi at 240, it's and with 40% ready vote share, Bengal is not easy to ignore. Jesse, Tamil Nadu brings a similar number of seats, but Tamil Nadu where BJP is practically non-existent,
Yeah,
unlike
you
West
see,
Bengal.
that
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 is the
42 MP seats is a double-edged sword. Because of that 42 seats, BJP might need Bengal, or because of that 42 seats, BJP might not need Bengal because there's a guaranteed support in the parliament from Trinamool, from their MPs by abstaining from
There
important.
isn't. That's
Uh,
what I said. You see, देखो, this is one fundamental flaw in our thought process. Because something has happened, we think it will happen every time. वैसे if Modi had 350 seats or something, I don't think he would have worried about Bengal much. But because of 240 and the UP vote going absolutely wrong, uh, and USA, there are other anti-incumbents in other parts of the country. There's a fatigue. You get my point. Like there's a fatigue in his older parts of his vote shares, right? So the problem that I'm trying to bring out is that Bengal is important specifically because of that. Because now if Modi says, I want 40 seats, but let's get it from Tamil Nadu, he can't. Okay. If he says, I want 15
yeah.
seats, let's get it from Kerala and Andhra Pradesh and all this. Andhra Pradesh mein aise hi way saturation hai and Pawan Kalyan and these people are there, so it won't work. So if we go up, Bangalore, Karnataka does not have that many seats. Madhya Pradesh and all, no state can offer you 40 seats like that. Okay. So with the 40% ready vote share, with polarization and anti-incumbency against the state government so blatant. So that's why I'm saying that the possibility is in that. Now, again, I might say a lot of stuff and then there might be setting at the end. I don't know. Then, like, don't, hold me accountable for that. But that is my logical reasoning. Like, it's about what you have. It's about trade-offs, right? So if now that Modi has 240 seats, he has to worry actually about retaining majority and stuff like that, which was not the case till 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So that is definitely a thing. So let's see.
Yeah. Okay, then do you have anything more to add? Then I'll start taking the live chat
I think
questions
Half
now.
Blood Prince makes a good point. I'll say that and then get out. Half Blood Prince says, but who likes showing their state being shown in bad light if it is true? I think it's not about showing the state in bad light. If Kashmir Files did not show Kashmir in a bad light. You get my point. It showed a large section of the people being, attacked and stuff. So uh, everyone loves victim card these days. It's an SJW world. So in the world of social justice, the narrative of victimhood works the best. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, shalom.
Okay then, academic man. Join later if you
Yeah,
can again.
okay. Yeah,
I'll be taking live chat questions now, and members can join the discussion directly. The joining link has been given in the members only visible section of the community tab, okay, of our channel. Bro, did you watch Motku Aritro Gyan reaction on Bengal Files? No, I haven't. For some reason, find him a little annoying. For that reason, I didn't watch. I thought, who gives a shit if he says it's good or not? Then I heard that he's actually criticized it. He has said it's propaganda and stuff. There, it's. I'm more pissed off with it now to watch it again. Actually, I should watch it as someone who discusses politics and stuff from a YouTube channel. I should and critique it. Uh, Maybe if I find it that important, if I conclude it's that important, someday I will in the next few weeks. But so far, I'm just annoyed with him saying it's a propaganda movie because, like, anytime you start having some hopes from someone, fuckers, they always disappoint you. Even you, Aditro, even you, who knows what is what, who knows what's the condition of this state, and who knows what's the condition of the rest of the country. Even and you are apparently reading some stuff now. You're going to call this propaganda. What is the propaganda part? The facts, or the fact that someone is making a movie on it? Fuck this. What's wrong with propaganda? Looks like they have problem with propaganda only when a nationalistic. Yes, they have a problem with propaganda only when someone who is doing it is not them. Their propaganda is objective truth. Everyone else's claims are propaganda. The tease shows they are showing Delhi leaders being responsible, but will the film show the accountability of the Bengali leaders? They weren't shown in the teaser. I think they will show the responsibility of the Bengali society, the Bhadraloks, which is why they are teasing Roy Chaudhuri surnames and Banerjee surnames. And it's highlighted that for some reason the character is called Banerjee, the character is called Roy Chaudhuri. For that, now it might end up that those guys were probably helping out the victims, but those two characters, I think, are a tease in itself and a hint towards him getting into the BBK politics, okay, of Bengal, because we know now he is researching all of that Bhadralok stuff. Therefore, Oitro has a it will have impact on Bengali people, but not on Bengali. Exactly. That is the most accurate way to look at it. And people outside Bengal must realize one thing. There is a significant change in the mindsets of people. A lot of people are calling a spade these days. That yes, we must be truly liberal and secular, and therefore criticize Muslims when they are wrong, criticize Bangladeshis when they are wrong, criticize the Pakistanis now. Just like we have discussed countless times now, that since the Pahalgam attack, people have stopped saying, commies, liberals have stopped saying that no, not all Pakistanis are bad, etc. Because the focus is now on Muslims as a whole to such an extent that they now cannot save Pakistan anymore or protect Pakistan from the wrath of Indian right wingers or the Indian state anymore. So they are saying yes, मार दो, गाड़ मार दो पूरा पाकिस्तान, कूड़ा दो बस, ठीक है, हर कॉमी हर लिबरल बोल रहा है आजकल ये सब. तो वो बटन विंडो शिफ्ट होगा, मगर फिर भी ये तो हम एजुकेटेड मासेस का, अर्बन मासेस का बात कर रहे हैं वेस्ट बंगाल में. तो ये जो माइंड चेंज हुआ है, माइंड शिफ्ट हुआ है, मगर वो वोट पे कन्वर्ट इनके लिए नहीं होगा, क्योंकि दीज पीपल स्टिल लुक एट बीजेपी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एज एन आउटसाइडर पार्टी, बिकॉज BJP has not created enough faces in the minds of the Bhadraloks or the urban people to give it a Bengali vibe. It's mainly Modi, Amit Shah, and Rudranil Ghosh, who is not really that in the forefront, and nor is he that appealing to Bhadraloks anymore. He has been very late into the game, plus he has a history of changing political parties countless times. Ovis Ganguly is not a very good campaigner. So the people who could have voted for BJP from the urban spaces, who are not traditionally BJP supporters and stuff, they are still not going to vote for BJP because of these reasons. That Abhishek Banerjee is still not going to jail. Shuvendu, that allegedly former criminal of Trinamool, he is running the party. RG Kaur, no verdict really. Everyone in the end gets bail or doesn't even get accused and stuff. Mamata Banerjee is scot-free, etc. So it's not like, in the minds of those people, it's not like they are getting a significant different thing from Trinamool anyway, because they also don't believe that Bengal is that lagging behind in the country. Because a lot of Bengalis who work outside, even those fuckers, a lot of them believe that, yeah, we might have to leave Bengal forever and after. Maybe our ancestors and us have been doing that for 30-40 years. But still Bengal is really a fucking awesome place. We just don't happen to live there, bro. So women's security, etc., the vibe, the beautiful buildings and music taste, film taste, all of that is still great in Bengal only. So I'm just having to work in Bangalore, Delhi, Pune or USA, you see. Otherwise I would have stayed in Bengal really. So all those people who still believe Bengal is not really lagging behind even, they are not going to vote for BJP. A lot of people who do believe Bengal is lagging behind are not going to vote for BJP because Shuvendu and not enough Bhadralok faces, etc. Not enough really Bengali vibe faces from BJP. But that's only for the urban people. Mofusils and village discussion is completely different. Whether you consider our desert homies a threat or not, based on that they are going to vote. And some of them are also not going to vote for BJP. A lot of them from the Mofusils and villages are not going to vote for BJP simply because some of them are the legal beneficiaries of Trinamool's wealth redistribution programs, and some of them are beneficiaries of Trinamool's corruption. So they are not going to vote. The only people who are going to vote for BJP are from the Mofusils and villages who do believe our desert homies are a threat at all. Now we have Navu Vimarsh on the chat. Hi Bhupenda. What's up?
Namaste.
Hi, namaste.
Yes, so two things which I was thinking about. Like, I do not watch movies, as you know, but I watched the trailer on Twitter and YouTube. So correct. You had mentioned the movie Bahurupi.
Hmm.
Uh, so we have seen slowly there is a slow churn going on.
Hmm.
Okay, now like a sitting, I don't know what is his now. He's MLA or not, or I don't know, but a very known face. Okay, of the ruling political party member doing these kind of moves. What does it mean? There's a symbolism attached to that specific event, which I wanted to
Hmm.
discuss,
Hmm.
because people like people who are from Bengal, who know Bengal, it's a very significant event which people are not actually talking about outside Bengal. Like
Hmm.
in Bengal, people are talking about, but in private, not in public.
Hmm.
What do you think tweaked that thing? It's Do you think it's significant that a sitting political party member is doing that kind of move?
Hmm. Just to be clear, by the way, audience guys and Bhupenda, Trinamool has officially said that Saurabh Das is not our member anymore. Since they got asked after the teaser came out. Okay, officially their stance is that Saurabh Das is no longer in the party. Unofficially, we know that he'll have to be close to Trinamool anyway. Now, it is very significant, not from the perspective of Trinamool or Saurabh Das himself, because Saurabh thinks that, okay, it's not like we are getting really great work or amount of work in Tollywood anyway. So, I'm not going to kick out an opportunity, a financial opportunity, a career opportunity, which is going to be watched by a huge mass all around the country. I'm definitely taking that role. Even if I was asked to play Buddhadev Bhattacharya or Jyoti Basu beating up Mamata Banerjee, he would have still taken that role. Uh, it's significant in another way, or probably the only way, is that at least Saurabh Das himself now knows some stuff. He has a friend circle. He is going to discuss all the stuff he did in Bengal Files. His friend circle, who are the biggest BB Commie scoundrels and the main culprits, they are going to have to end up talking about it. That circle is the key demographic we always address from this channel, right, or target from this channel. They are the ones who are going to end up having to talk about this. That's a huge I think win for this discourse,
Yeah,
because
one
think
more
of
point.
him going out in some house party after the film releases, or even the teaser releases, house parties, sets, everywhere. His friends are going to ask, why the fuck did you work with that guy? And he's going to say that, yeah, I had to and stuff. And someday he's going to get frustrated enough with the reply that, yes, I did it just for money. He's not going to say it forever. I think someday he's going to say that, but I just showed factual stuff. I acted based on facts, bro. What the fuck can I do? Then a lot of people are going to realize, oh, these are facts in even. Okay, I guess then we must think about it. And the debate that it's going to generate is anyway great, but debates don't lead to votes. So yeah, go ahead, Bhupinder.
Yeah, one more point. So you mentioned correct that the incentive structure which is built around uh, governments in West Bengal specifically. Okay, because the state incentives are something which is the people close to power rely on for their own survival. So if uh, I will say significant person is moving away from that incentive structure, does
Yeah.
it show, does it signify that a lot of people who may not have done what Saurabh Das has done, but they are on the verge of flipping?
Absolutely. I think every artist is always on the verge of absolutely flipping, frankly, in Bengal at least. Like we have discussed, if BJP comes to power, you will see a lot of them had been traditionally BJP leaning or even Hindutvadi. They just could not show their true face, and a lot of them are going to even pretend to be that anyway. So on the verge, definitely, because uh, I don't know one single Trinamool supporter who is not unhappy with the way Tollywood's guild functions. Everyone agrees. Leftists, CPM supporters, Trinamool supporters, everyone agrees that guild is doing bad stuff. It's a harassment mainly, but also guild's payments are going to go up in I think this month or the next month. Okay, guild salary is going to increase. All the freebies are going to increase because elections are coming up in 2026. So that's going to create an additional hassle. But since all of them agree that it is in fact a problem, at least in this one issue where they are directly affected, even there, all of them agree that yes, Trinamool is doing a bad job. So they are always on the verge. So
Yeah,
if a push comes,
last
then they are going to jump ship.
last point before we leave. So in that context, what you mentioned that the incentive structure is weakened. Okay, so is it a game of attrition which is played by the center and the state, that who who raises the white flag first? Because the
Uh,
funding, a lot of funding is stuck at state at the center, and the state government is fighting for funding, and without the central funds, those incentives are not going to be good enough to give one more
hmm.
term. What do you think?
See, since no one really votes because of a good job done by the government, those funds not coming to Bengal or to the West Bengal government is not going to matter anytime soon. Whatever funds are needed to gather to create beneficiaries legally and illegally, that's still going to happen for the foreseeable future. Good stuff, real constructive stuff is not going to happen, about which no one cares. No one in the villages and all care, because they don't even know a better thing can happen, better thing is going on in the other states, so they don't care. And state and center, so I don't think they're in an attrition warfare, they're in a parliament support versus not parliament support warfare. I think the main calculations going on in central BJP is that whether Trinamool will support us in the parliament or not, and based on that we will fuck with them or not.
Yes, but if you see the example of Delhi elections very carefully, I have watched the elections very carefully.
Yeah.
And if you remember, in 2024, 3,000 was announced by the BJP for 26.
Hmm.
So I might differ a little bit on that,
Hmm.
because there is a attrition warfare been going on, and BJP is going to up the ante in terms of incentives. If things do not go well planned, there might be an attrition warfare, and BJP might outbid the current dispensation on freebies. That's my
There,
assessment.
I disagree because yes, they are going to outbid on freebies, but I don't think most people are going to either care or even find out about it, because the campaign requires one significant face, one leader, one BJP state president, etc. None of which is happening. It's still very much of a divided house. You know it. And even if the outbidding happens, even if people realize that yes, in fact, BJP is going to pay us more, then they might think, okay, how much more really? For $1,000, we are now not going to be loyal, because this is an emotion game as well. People are going to think that, oh, in my heart I'm betraying Mamta Banerjee for just 1,000 rupees. She helped us when nobody else was helping us, etc. So how can I vote for someone else just because of $1,000? $1,000 extra.
Yes, but no, actually, because if you see the campaign of Shubhendu, he's playing the emotion card pretty well.
Yes, but is he reaching everyone in Bengal?
It doesn't have to. So it's going to be like a multi-prong game. Something will Subhendu will play something, and don't worry about that. Who is the leader? Okay, it's all in fighting. But when the whip comes from the center, everybody will fall in line. So they're
But
not doing this because
yeah, they're not doing this though.
they're not they're not doing this. But when the whip comes, they will fall in line. As
So
so, there are few things. There are few things
if
which are
the whip
important. One,
comes, the whip
hmm,
should have come by now. The whip should have come in 2024. If the
no,
whip comes one week
to,
before
to
elections, then
20
there's no point of the whip.
So 24 was not 240, correct? So that's an important number you need to keep in
Yeah.
mind. 24 was not 240. 26 is 240.
Okay.
So that is the important point. See, I am reading signals. Okay, we are all interpreting things from
Yeah.
our where we are sitting at. So
Hmm.
my interpretation is that the way things are, the way the chess moves are being done, okay, at the silently or upfront by
Hmm.
BJP leaders here and there, and other things are going on. It
Hmm.
is looking like an interesting game in terms of semantics. What will happen under there,
Yes.
nobody knows. But I think 2025, uh, 1 year ago, we will see some significant steps, and then we will realize where we stand.
Yeah. And officially, not even 1 year is left for the elections, right? It's already 11 months left for the elections. No, 10 months.
10 months, correct? ten
10 months
months.
left for the elections,
Yeah,
and still not
6 months,
not a
five,
not a united party.
5 months. 5 months. You will see something
Uh,
happening on the 6 months
okay. Okay.
now.
Let's see.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhupender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what other stuff is getting asked in the live chat. Um, the question has been bothering me for quite a while, but what makes us think that the narrative about caste, etc., is not manufactured by the BJP itself? You mean nationally? Nationally, though, yeah, it benefits them only. They are going to do biggest caste politics. They are going to dismantle dominant castes, etc. But for Bengal, though, they should create, which they are now kind of getting to the bandwagon. And I support everything except reservation. I support having conversations about casteism, which doesn't happen in Bengal. Uh, yeah, Medipur, they are going to vote for Shubhendu, yes. So BJP Bengal doesn't have a bad Rolok face. It has in bits and pieces. It has Justice Abhijit Ganguly. It has Rudranil Ghosh is not really Bhadralok. Um, Rudranil Ghosh's pronunciation and skin color kind of makes him a not Bhadralok, because Bhadraloks are usually uh, fair skinned and speak Bengali in a very particular way, which immediately registers and impresses common people in Bengal, which sticks in the minds of common people in Bengal. Indranil Khan. How is Indranil Khan a Bhadralok face? Problem is, even after realizing problem, Bengalis don't see TMC fanning the problem. Yeah, yeah. Why BBK commies want to eliminate only their community? Because they don't think they are eliminating their community. Hi, Anit. Hello? Okay, Anit is muted. Yeah, yeah. Hi. Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, Dada, one thing I have.
You have to increase
Yeah.
your volume. Hold the mic in front of your face or something.
Now can you understand? Here,
No,
is it okay?
if it's a little louder, it would be better.
Okay, let me join after some time.
Okay. Yeah, here's a good point. That Indranil Khan is a cancer doctor, therefore he is a Bhadralok face. प्रोफेशन से भद्रलोक तो नहीं बनता है. प्रोफेशन बनता है वाइब से, कंजम्पशन पैटर्न से. Do you think AIMIM will fight independently this time? They say something like this few months back. Yeah. Do breakdown of teaser. I did think of doing that, but StreamYard's audio quality of stuff that I cast from my account, that gets so horrible that it's going to be almost pointless, I think. But it's still a good idea. Let's see. I might get I don't think I'll get copyright strikes. Let's see. Please speak BBK Bengali. I speak BBK Bengali only. Doesn't it help in West Bengal that everyone else is competing for the vote bank vote? It doesn't, because the desert homies vote for only one party. So even if everyone else is vying for the desert homie votes, the people who are fence sitters, the people who don't like Shubhendu's vibe, people who are waiting for the complete Bhadralokization of BJP, which might even be a legit demand, but none of that's happening anytime soon. It might not ever happen. So all of those people end up voting for CPM, who cut the votes of BJP. Like again, that example of this time 2024 Lok Sabha elections, Jadavpur constituency, where Shayanu Ghosh became the MP. So the BJP candidate was someone called Dr. Anirban Ganguly, who did not really campaign all that much. In most places, he didn't even visit once. Srijan Bhattacharya visited almost every spot. Shiny visited almost every spot. So everyone, including BJP supporters, every BJP supporter that I spoke to, thought Anirban Ganguly is absolutely coming in third. Even though Jadavpur constituency, BJP is not going to win anyway, but there's no hope of him even coming in second position. He's going to be in the third position, because a lot of people don't know that, from outside Bengal, don't know that the Jadavpur constituency is not just around the Jadavpur University or an urban area. It has a gigantic place called Bhangur inside that constituency, which is complete desert commie heaven for them, desert homie heaven for them. Okay, now to everyone's surprise, after the elections, we learned that Anirban Ganguly is in fact from the is in fact comes in second. Okay, a guy who did not campaign, a guy most people had not heard of, from a party who is very very disliked allegedly in the Jadavpur constituency. That guy comes in second. Okay, and just 3 days back, I had a conversation with a sort of an elder brother of mine who was saying that just the neighborhood opposite his neighborhood is wholesale completely Trinamool. Okay, so again everyone thought Shiny is getting all the votes from that neighborhood. That neighborhood sneakily gave all the votes to Anirban Ganguly. That entire neighborhood, the entire block, the ward, completely voted for BJP. All those sly fuckers say we are Trinamool supporters to their Trinamool worker friends, and then they go vote for BJP because they had hopes that this time though definitely BJP is changing the game, etc. Okay, now we see in the end Shayoni got about 7.2 lakh votes. Anirban Ganguly gets some 2.5 lakh or 3 lakh votes. Same number of votes was achieved by Srijan, who took the votes of those fence-sitters and the people who really hate Mamata Banerjee with all their guts but don't like Shubhendu, etc. BJP is not really arresting anybody, so there's no real change. So why not Srijan, a nice cute kid, a bhalo kaku of CPM, and he takes away all those votes. Now here's a huge misconception from SMTR. SMTR, you are not getting what a Bhadralok is, bro, at all. You have a complete misconception. I'm not being rude. Many people have a misconception. I used to also have this misconception. Professions, qualifications do not make a Bhadralok. Bhadralok is a caste. Randomly getting into a profession one day does not change your caste. Okay? Inul Khan is not a Bhadralok at all because of his consumption patterns. So is Anirban Ganguly. He may be Brahman, he may be PhD, but first of all, his PhD is kind of in an iffy subject, a subject which no one really cares about all that much, or his thesis is even not that interesting to Brahmins, those guys, the proper Bhadraloks of Bengal, the accurate Bhadraloks, the accurate definition for which they qualify, and he's a right winger with only a right wing vibe. He does not identify with Kolkata's urban Naxals or urban Brahmins, those Kaistos at all in any way, in any of his consumption patterns. He doesn't watch the same movies as them. He does, maybe at least that we know of. That's the vibe he has presented. He has not presented a Bhadralok vibe. He has given a 1920s classical Bengali Srijit Datto vibe, which the cosplaying fancy dress competition that they go on with. That they imagine that there is Bunkim. Oh, you see, there is Rishi Aurobindo. They think they still live in that Bengal, okay? They don't know we are an elder brother of Bihar. So, they have absolutely zero fucking purchase among the proper Bhadraloks of Kolkata. Unless consumption patterns match, you are not a Bhadralok. Which is why I say to right-wingers who get offended when I talk about caste in Bengal, I'm not talking about you guys. Just because you are Brahmins, Boiddos or Kaistos, it does not make you a Bhadralok. It does not make you, it does not bring you in that category of BBKs. You have to be from the city and you have to have that stereotypical Bhadralok consumption pattern. Watching certain sports in a certain way, eating certain foods in a certain way, listening to certain music in a certain way. What you consume, how you consume, that makes you a part of a caste, a part of an exclusive group. And Anirban Ganguly is not that at all. Yes, and you think Shiny is a Chotolok, which means you have absolutely no clue what a Bhadralok is. She's a JU dropout, speaks clear Bengali, is an actress, can quote any Rabindranath Nazrul anytime you want. Actually comes from a devout Hindu family who just thought that's not a very anti-Hindu thing to do, that shivling thing. That's how Bhadraloks are raised. Some of us are raised commies, some of us are raised in a religious household, whether to get a job or to get married and stuff or to be good in studies. A lot of Bhadraloks come from religious backgrounds, but all of them have that Brahmo Samaji understanding of Hinduism, where shivling and a condom would not be really offensive for them. And to top it all off, Shiny had that urban, not urban Naxal really, that leftist protester vibe even before she joined the TMC. Everyone in Bengal used to think she was going to join CPM, or comes from a CPM family maybe, or is very close to CPM, or like CPM, etc. They were surprised out of their minds when she joined CPM, when she joined Trinamool. So you see, she perfectly qualifies for the Bhadralok caste, not Anirban Ganguly. Now we have Anit. We'll take live chat questions once again. Let's see what Anit has to add. Hi Anit, go ahead.
Yeah, can you now hear me, Dada?
Yeah, it's
Is
better.
it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the release of that film, the Bengal Files, is on 15th August. So let's say the film all over the India goes on till 3 months. Let's say hardly 3 months or 2 months. So the film will be available on the online platforms. Let's say around November, December, and our election is around like April to May.
Yeah.
The main thing I understood is that many people in our state who does not vote for BJP is on the boundary. The recent events from Bangladesh to Murshidabad to also happened in Kolkata have kept them on the boundary line. Means, and you also agree that many of our people does not know what happens beyond our 5 kilometer radius. They will
Yeah.
say, "What happens? It isn't happening in my inner circle."
Yeah.
So that thing that they have understand that no, this is coming to our ear. So in my family too, I mean, in my family too, they were hardcore TMC. They are hardcore TMC. But when I have said when I have make them understood that what is happening around not only in Bengal but around, if we see what is the pattern, we are also on the danger line. So now they are coming to understand that no, we have to do something. That thing depends on look, many of the students who study now in the graduate degrees, they like to see movies, right? So if there is not, say, let's any theater, they will see it on after some months, and if they see it, there will be some talk. So the people I am talking about on the boundary line, they will largely be motivated to change their votes. And if they keep talk to their families, they will also be
Yeah.
changed, their mind also be changed, and that will
Yes.
be a big part. Until also we have to think that Mamata Banerjee is not he's a very experienced leader. If she does things to flip flop, I think this game is on for BJP. The discipline will work. At least the talking will happen. That talking will encourage many people, because many of the things are not aware what is happening outside beyond the 5 kilometer radius. They are not aware of that. And even what have happened in our cultural history, like what are the like communal riots we have faced. Many things don't. Many people don't know.
Yeah.
My father also don't know.
Yeah.
When I asked him, I was too much expensive. How have you not known these things?
So the way you are saying that, the way that BJP has actually got where it is today in Bengal, that is the way you are saying that it can still go on. Yes, but that is the only way that BJP has made the gains it has, because of people talking to their parents and their circles and stuff. It has not really happened because of BJP West Bengal. It has happened because of the
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
debating
yeah.
on Twitter and Facebook. Really.
Yes, 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 yes. But I can guarantee you that Subhendu is a mass leader. When he comes to
Absolutely.
one place, he will
Yeah.
visit every gully,
Yeah,
every
that's what
street
I'm
of
saying.
that place.
The only people who are not going to vote for Shubhendu just because he is not Bhadralok, or not from, or from Trinamool, etc., are mainly from the cities, and the minority section from the mafisals and villages.
But one thing you will be laughing that uh, the education scam. Most of the people who got job from Purva Medinipur in SSC were all Subhendu's people. But Purva Medinipur will vote for fully for BJP. They know Subhendu has done this thing, but they will vote for BJP.
Yeah. Yeah, because they are now being practical. They are being Nietzschean.
Yeah, yeah,
They have
yeah, yeah,
moved beyond good and evil. They
yeah,
know
yeah.
we need someone to change stuff. We need, and they have faith on Shubhendu, of course. They have faith on
One
entire
thing,
Shubhendu's entire family.
yeah, I live in Jharam district, and Jharam is my town, like no other city. I live in Jharam city. So one thing happened during Namanavami. So there was a huge Bajrang Dal Michil. So after that Michil, some of the Bajrang Dal members uh, intentionally took a Pakistani flag, which was kept on the street, and that was kept on. They intentionally did it, and
Hmm.
then they put the that thing on some Muslims, and a certain type of tension has gone around
Hmm.
about that thing that some Muslims surely have did it,
I see.
but it was the Bajrangal who have intentionally done it after their
Hmm.
Michel kind of things. In our city, Bajrangal is quite strong, but the main
Hmm.
thing is that as teams have understood that from our Vidhan Sabha teams will not get votes, they are uh, they are bringing aims from other districts. Like
Hmm.
we have not seen those people 1 month before. They
Yeah, yeah.
are letting them build houses here and there illegally, and they are keeping them to
Yeah,
increase
yeah.
their votes. But I think the number is so not will be not so large that they will merely a factor.
Hmm. Right. Okay, Anit, thanks. If you
Okay.
have anything else to add, you can come down later on as well.
Okay. Okay.
I'll get back to the live chat now. Yeah, actually, I did make a mistake here. Kaladin is pointing out a mistake here. He's saying, Dada, aren't you overestimating social media and underestimating the party doing their own work on the ground? Actually, yes. See, हमारा खुद का सबकॉन्शियस बायस तो नहीं जाता है ना कभी. तो without knowing by mistake, many times I'm going around conflating Kolkata and West Bengal. So yes, rest of West Bengal's votes are because of groundworks of BJP. But anyone who is in the towns or towns specifically adjacent to Kolkata, or all the BJP votes inside Kolkata, which is not really significant, but anyone who is voting for BJP from these places are voting for the social media debates that they got into or saw other people doing, and based on that which they and based on which they did their own research and found out that, oh my god, the stuff that BJP says or has been saying for all these years is in fact true. So they are not voting for groundwork, because if groundwork was Sarvopari, then West Bengal would have been forever Hindutwadi, because even today most commies are devout Hindus, most Trinamool people are devout Hindus. Hindu devotion is not an issue at all in West Bengal. It is an issue only in Kolkata. Only in Kolkata. Amongst people whose fertility rate is the least in the state, okay? Therefore, the kings of groundwork, RSS, why were they unsuccessful in West Bengal? So you see, groundwork is not Sarvopadi, Hindu devoutness is also not Sarvopadi. It's usually a mixture of both, but narrative etc. is important. Let's see. Yeah. Anit has something to add. Yeah, go ahead, Anit.
Yeah, one thing I forgot that many people I am seeing news that from TMC CPM they are joining BJP and they are not the prominent leaders. They are booth level workers, and that matters the most. Right? Anything ground level workers are joining from TMC and CPM. When 2021 happened, the booth level workers were not joining. Only the main people that top leaders were joining from TMC. So this time it would work.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Uh, Now, Varun Dev is asking, Dada, someone once asked if you ever lived in Jadavpur University hostel. You said with huge relief, thank God, no. Why did you say that? What is so dangerous over there? No, dangers though, whatever is common we hear in all engineering colleges, there's a lot of ragging and stuff. I did not say thank God, no for that. I said thank God, no, based on what the stuff that I believe politically, etc. Now, that whatever I now believe, because in my age, when I could have been in a JU hostel, I was a leftist myself. I would have loved to be in a JU hostel. Of course, if I had been spared from the ragging at least. But otherwise, I would have had a pretty fun time, other than the sodomizations that go on allegedly. Rishabh, Kolkata doesn't matter anymore. Commies are devout Hindus. Yes, commies are devout Hindus. See, d- do you think CPM used to win in West Bengal based on the votes of atheists or because of the groundwork of atheist CPM leaders? No, no, no. Just look under the curtain a little, just meet them anywhere in private. You'll immediately see all of them doing puja part for their children's future and stuff, or for their own election purposes. We should fight for Bangla and Bangali, not for any political party. Yeah, that social awakening horseshit does not happen in a socialist situation, R. Whatever change has to happen in society can only happen through a political party in a socialist shithole, okay? Because the party is the society. Um, okay, let's see what other questions were there. Didn't TMC also win in West Bengal for the first time without winning Kolkata? Yes, yes, forever. Even CPIM. Exactly, no party will survive in India for a long time without being religious on ground. Yes, yes, absolutely. And especially West Bengal. क्या मतलब कल तक रिलीजियस थे उसके वजह से बांग्लादेश से चले आए या फिर पार्टीशन में सपोर्ट नहीं किए और अब अचानक 77 में सीपीआई आ जाता है और सबके सब एथीस्ट बन जाते हैं ऐसा नहीं है the lack of alignment from Bengalis that you see with Hindutva values is only because of the Brahmo Samaj influence, not because of their not Hinduness. Okay. Many elitist commies complain that CPIM didn't totally atheistify Bengal through party class and all that. That's why BJP is strong now. Yes. Yes, S-meter is actually true here. Actually correct here. That is another thing. But doing puja part in private and then giving permission to Muharram sidelining Durga Puja Bhashan, I don't think that's a sign of being devout Hindus. No, no, no. That is exactly the sign of being a devout Hindu. Don't confuse being a devout Hindu with being a hardcore Hindutvadi. Hinduism, the culture, the philosophy, the way of looking at the world, or the theology is not Hindutva. Hindutva is the political project of uniting, forgetting all differences just because of one common threat. Okay? So, doing Durga Puja is definitely devout Hinduness, and giving permission to Muharram is the feeling of all commies, etc., or liberals or BBKs that yes, I pray to Ma Durga for the general betterment of me and my family, etc., or because I just believe in her. But also these are cute little minority desert homies who deserve a spot in Muharram. I'm so insecure. I'm so not insecure, and my Ma Durga is so not insecure that we don't need to feel threatened with just one Muharram. So why not let them have that Muharram? That's the feeling in the minds of a devout Hindu. Which 1-2 industries are still strong in West Bengal today, if at all? I'll probably give a wrong answer in this. Because I'm inclined to say none. Restaurant business is still strong. Restaurants, eateries, etc. That I see everywhere going on. And which is why Abhijit Banerjee recently said that who says West Bengal is having a tough time? Everyone's opening a restaurant. तो रेस्टोरेंट है तो बढ़िया इकोनॉमी है तो अभी कैलिफोर्निया से जेफ बेजोस नौकरी करने रेस्टोरेंट खोलने वेस्ट बंगाल आ जाएंगे एक्सेट्रा jute industry, no idea. Hafta industry is going strong, Rishabh is saying. Okay. Yeah, hi Rishabh, go ahead.
Hey, hi Dada. I just came in to make a very limited point and an anecdote right now. Okay. So near my house, like this happened less than an hour ago. Like I tell you, Bengalis always use non-Bengalis as a confessional. I had ordered food from outside today because it's Sunday, and I'd gone down to buy some cold drinks to a shop. Now that guy knows me pretty well. I've been buying from his shop for ages, but I would always talk to him in Bengali, and because of that, he never knew that I'm an Agarwal. Okay, so today I was on the phone with my girlfriend talking to her in Hindi, and while I was in the shop waiting, and he noticed for the first time that I'm speaking Hindi in like without a Bengali accent or anything, and he
Right.
figured out that I'm not a Bengali. So he was like, आप बंगाली नहीं हो लाइक आई वाज लाइक नो मैं अग्रवाल हूँ so he looked at me for a second and I was like ये क्या हो गया and then I bought my cold drink I made my payment and as I was leaving जाते जाते he was like हाँ राम राम भैया
Nice.
So I'm telling you, there is something happening in Calcutta also.
Yes, I agree. Whether
So
it's
yeah,
happening
I
to a
mean,
degree to change the government, there I
not
don't
sure.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not sure. But this is something that I've never seen in my almost 30 years living in Kolkata. Because I've come back from Mumbai, I'm seeing that, okay, there are winds of change. I'm not sure how strong it is, but like ever since I've been here for like 4 months now, and every time I'm going out, constantly getting reminded of, there's a lot of anger that was not present last time round. There's a lot of
Yeah.
anger.
Yeah.
Whether the BJP can capitalize it or not, I don't know. But like, I have so many small anecdotes. Like, few weeks ago, I was talking to a colleague of mine who was also living in Mumbai, and we were just talking, and she also found out that I recently transferred from there, and she just take pulls me to the side and starts talking to me in a soft tone about like Mumbai and how great it is and everything. And then she just tells me, these people will never understand, what it's like to live there. Those who haven't left Kolkata ever in their life. So
Yeah.
these are some very limited anecdotal points, not really data or anything. There's
Yeah.
something that I wanted to share because of where the
Yeah.
conversation is going right now. That something interesting is happening. I don't know if it will work out politically or not, but I
Yeah.
think what is happening on a larger scale is because of social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bengal, which was sort of cut off from the rest of the countries, kind of reintegrating.
Yeah.
And I think overall, I don't know what the short-term political thing is, but long-term, I think it's a good sign. It's a great sign.
Yeah. Yeah. Long
Yeah,
term,
that was my limited
next
point.
next 20-30 years, though, Bengal is only going to see progress, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
fingers crossed, hopefully. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Thanks, Rishabh. Thanks for joining. You
Thanks
can
a
join
lot.
later on also if you need to add something.
Sure. Bye.
Now, this issue of a change going on. First of all, we can't be sure how much that change is really going on. I mean, like I said, people are admitting that yes, Trinamool is not doing a good job. Yes, the Guild of Tollywood is overstepping its boundaries. It's welcome, etc. Yes, some Muslims are in fact doing a bad job. Finally, they are admitting that yes, Pahalgam was a bad thing. Yes, Murshidabad was a bad thing. Yes, whatever happened in Bangladesh was a bad thing. Is it enough to vote for BJP therefore? Because they don't make that connection all that obviously, because what they are seeing in front of them, without following politics all that much, without knowing what's happening in the rest of the country, without thinking it through even to that extent, without being that practical. Because after all, if it's a vanity issue for you, if it's a if it's a second order, third order issue for you, if you are not directly affected by it, you will then think of stuff like, oh no, Shubhendu is not a Bhadralok, oh, he's from Trinamool, etc. Okay. Only if you are facing the brunt of the situation of West Bengal directly, only then you are probably today definitely voting for BJP and stuff. But the people in the city, I think, are who are in fact very pissed off with Mamata Banerjee. Most of them are nowhere close to voting, nowhere anywhere near there mentally for in terms of voting for BJP. Some of them are sneaky voters, of course, like the ones I mentioned, who made Anirban Ganguly reach the second position. But most of them still care about things like Shubhendu not being Bhadralok, and so many corrupt Trinamulis now being in BJP. So many corrupt people who are considered corrupt by BJP but who are not sent to jail by BJP. All of that matters. All of that chances of goodwill has been lost by BJP repeatedly for the last 5-6 years, just because of with the hope that they will support BJP in the parliament, and that has worked out to their favor so far. Anidash is saying, stop flirting with your friends of opposite gender, make them oh baba. Why even after realizing the problem, Bengalis don't see TMC fanning the problem as a problem? Oh, why? Uh, let's keep our conversation in this about in this context just to the Kolkata area. Then we will get to a fruitful conversation, I think, because everywhere else their answer would be, after all, BJP gives me freebie, legally or illegally. After all, I get stuff from Trinamool. In Kolkata, the situation is still the same. That Trinamool is, after all, trying to do secular politics. Yeah, maybe they may be corrupt, but we still don't want any harm for our Muslim brothers, and BJP, the moment they come to power, there will be a lot of harm that befalls on our Muslim brothers. And therefore, TMC is not really fanning it. There are just bad Muslims who, in fact, have done bad jobs, bad things in Pahalgam and Murshidabad and Bangladesh. But that does not mean now we vote a party who will harm all Muslims. Therefore, no BJP, and TMC is not really fanning any flames, because they will say that TMC's fanning flames did not make things happen in Bangladesh or in Pahalgam, in just Murshidabad. So we see a pattern that, yeah, there are definitely some bad Muslims, but TMC is not fanning it, and therefore let's not have a party who will harm all Muslims. This conversation goes on in the minds of people who are not electorally that significant. They are trendsetters, definitely, but here we are definitely, you and I are definitely talking about that section from Kolkata, and they think that way. Bengali Files posted comment section. Oh wait, you are asking something else, I guess. Old boy. Yeah, old boy saying Dada Saurav Das to TMC kore or Gopal Par. No. Actually, old boy. Yeah, we all knew that he was in Trinamool, but Trinamool has clarified that he is no longer in Trinamool apparently. After the teaser came out and some controversy happened. It was a masterstroke of Vivek Agnihotri in taking him. Lol. Let's see what else is getting discussed here. What courage? He's loser too. What's his achievements? Brainwashing low IQ people. Who? Shubhendu? Abhishek Singh is saying, I agree with you on if BJP needs 42 seats or not will be the key. One thing you are underestimating about is Amit Shah. If he wants to win the fort of Bengal, as he has claimed, it may be different. In my heart, I personally believe Amit Shah does want to win West Bengal. But is Amit Shah the entirety of BJP? Are all BJP supporters, are all BJP party workers in West Bengal in alignment with that view? Because a lot of their profession or earning from BJP or being a right-wing politician, etc., is predicated on the fact that they are in fact the ones who are going to save Hindus, etc. They might not have a profession or have a bread and butter if BJP comes to power and now they have to do stuff, not just complain about stuff. So Amit Shah wanting to win West Bengal is definitely an absolutely significant thing everyone must keep in mind. But I don't think everyone else is on board with Amit Shah, both in center and in the state. Vivek Agnihotri with Saurav Das, late realization, but thank God. People vote for SS for Hindutva. Most Marathi people also don't like the regionalism topic, so they have abandoned it. How is old boy doing secular raps now in our town? Can Chatterjee versus Norway be called Hindutva film because it's decoloniality basically? I have not watched Chatterjee versus Norway. Marathis were rich. Again, agreed with you with what you said. Amit Shah got 70 to 80. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Dada, can MMA fighter do everyday fasting while still doing training and fighting? This is a very important question, Varun Dev. It has to have a nuanced answer and reply. First of all, I know a lot of very, very world-class people from UFC, Bellator, etc. A lot of them do intermittent fasting. If not every day, many days of the week, okay? I don't think any newcomer MMA fighter or even a professional MMA fighter from India must do it yet, because we don't have that much access to high quality food, highly nutritious food in India, because most of our vegetables are absolute horseshit. They are absolutely blank carbohydrates and filled up with pesticides and colors. And meat is filled with steroids, antibiotics and estrogen, which is the case pretty much everywhere. But in India, we are not getting the nutrition. On the other hand, we are getting absolute horseshit in the food. So on top of that, if you do intermittent fasting when you don't have that much of access to great dietitians and nutritionists and stuff in the same way that UFC fighters have, you are going to get screwed with intermittent fasting, I think. So I don't see a value in... I would not have done. If I was practicing MMA fully, not just on weekends, but if I was properly struggling to be an MMA fighter right now, I would not do intermittent fasting. How about Hindutvadi Bhadralok class, or should the class be dismantled totally for true Hindutva? Very good question. I personally believe both should be done. My intentions of doing the BBK discourse is to make them irrelevant. Most Bengali right-wingers from all age groups who now have realized that there is something called narratives, and these guys have the narrative, we don't have the narrative, we are the system unka hai, etc. People who have realized that, I think, are still approaching it in a wrong way. Not wrong in the sense that I don't want them to do what they are doing, but in the sense that what they are doing is not the thing that's the only thing which is going to get you to victory. They are absolutely important, but they are only part of the solution. Okay, they are trying to fight the enemy with their own guns. Their enemy has a gun from company X. They are fighting those enemies with guns made by company Y. I think that's fighting them is of course important, but I don't think that's going to be the only fruitful thing, because they have an endless supply of guns from that company called X. Okay, you have only recently started even learning how to shoot a gun. They have been shooting guns for 70-80 years and they have an endless supply. You have just now learned how to use a gun and you don't have an endless supply. So my intentions with the BBK discourse is that make their guns ineffective first and foremost. Make them irrelevant. They should not be trendsetters in the first place. Okay? It does not matter if they are wrong or right. Because like Desai Deepak used to say 2-3 years back that how long are we going to just point out the hypocrisy of the left, etc. Even that's still important. It must forever go on. Because that counters and actually convinces some people in a certain realm. But Desai Deepak of course believes mostly in street power, etc. Therefore he's saying कि कब तक सिर्फ hypocrisy point out करते फिरोगे. I'm saying yes, the step beyond pointing out hypocrisy is making their words worthless, which is not worthless as of now. I know hardcore Shubhendu supporter, even I think Shubhendu will do a great job, but I don't think therefore narrative is not important. Just because numerically more people will vote for Shubhendu, therefore Bhadralok or discourse or narrative now does not matter. That's not going to be the case. That has never been the case in the history of mankind. You will still need narrative. Narrative will always come from educated people and educated people with degrees. Now, one hypothetical alternative might coming about, which is that people will not care about those experts and intellectuals and educated people. They'll listen to anyone who has a PhD or doesn't have a PhD or has a PhD in STEM, finance, and now writes Hindutvadi books from the philosophy angle or theology angle or science in Rig Veda, etc. That will happen. That might happen to some extent. But I don't think that can work fully in a place like West Bengal. In any other state, it would have worked. Not in West Bengal, not in our lifetimes probably. And so the other thing that we should have a Hindutvadi Bhadralok class. That is what I think we will end up happening, and that is what we should have. Both to fight them on with guns and also to make their weapons worthless. By pointing out that these guys who are the paragons of fighting against casteism are casteist. You make them irrelevant. You make their weapons simply toys in their hands, or make their guns unloaded. Take away their idols. Aritra Ghosh Dostidar is saying, no, we need an intellectual base as in Bhadralok Samaj. Yes. Let's see. Criminals being proud, disturbing poor people and being proud. Let's see what's being discussed. What are the questions? How about Hindutvadi Bhadralok class? Oh yeah, this we discussed. R.I. saying if we ban laborers from UP, Bihar, then their whole employment will be collapse. No other state will take UP and Bihari laborers. बिहार में तो चलो ठीक है अभी तक लेबर का एम्प्लॉयमेंट मीन्स मेकिंग अ ब्रिज दैट विल ब्रेक इन 5 years. But what about UP? UP's GDP growth rate is 19%. West Bengal's GDP growth rate is 10%. Who do you think is employing more people? Who do you think requires laborers from UP or Bihar? West Bengal or UP? Where do you think laborers will want to go? West Bengal or UP? West Bengalis are the only people who hate their immigrants even when they are poor. Every country society often benefits from certain entrepreneurial, enterprising immigrants. They get richer and then they shit on those immigrants. Like it has happened repeatedly with Agarwals, etc. in Africa, Singapore, etc. even different places in India, or let's say now the NRI issue in USA. Bengalis from West Bengal are the only breed, I think, in the history of mankind who hate immigrants even when they are not rich, are not really the job destination for anyone in the entire fucking country, except probably Bihar, which is worse than us. We are the elder brothers of Bihar, and still wants to ideally kick out some immigrants or keep them under a danda, etc. Wake up, smell the coffee, know your aukat, bro. Rishabh is saying also what happens when Gurgaon and Noida decides that they don't want socialist parasites from like Bharatulok belonged to INC, then CPM, now TMC. So would Hindutva just hijack Bharatulok like communism and Bengalism did not truly benefit the non-Bharatulok majority? Wait, what's the second part of your question? Like Bharatulok like communism and Bengalism did okay, like just like communism and Bengalism did, but not truly benefit the non-Bharatulok majority Bengal. You have to learn this is what is going to happen. But a lot of that is going to happen after BJP comes to power. And if they stay in power for 10 years, 15 years, then you will see a complete rock solid Bhadralok base full of degrees in PhD from social science, etc., who are saying Hindutva things, or which are seemingly non-left things, at least not as leftist as today, etc. That's going to happen. Hindutva would hijack. Hindutva likes to not promote their own people or not create new people. They just like to do the lazy thing, which is co-opt people. So a lot of co-opting will also happen. Anit is saying, I have joined literally after 1 month, Dada. What's the progress on Kalvaira Ashtakam? Yeah, great progress on that. And in fact, even I'm joining the live stream after about 1 month. So the progress is, location is locked, screenplay is locked as it can be, and before going to the shoot. We have a great line producer now, who's going to handle all the stuff in the shooting, from who is going to supply the food, coffee, camera, etc. The main three things are remaining. Our crew is still going through some martial art training, which will be required for the video. In the end of the song, something will happen in the percussion music arrangement wise, which I have not yet done. Rest of the song is done. Rap will be 3 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs have been written. Absolutely beautiful rap has been written. Absolutely beautiful rap throw has been recorded just for even the scratch vocals. Old Boy could not make time. I was planning to have Old Boy and Spill Freak in the video. They are kind of the only non-left, almost basically right-wing rappers in Kolkata. So the other guy is Spill Freak. Spill Freak is doing the raps in the song. I have done all my vocals long time back, just the vocals of the Stotram. Now I'm helping my friend Shourab Dash pick up the song, the video that I posted today. He has learned classical for decades. Now he has not learned classical for about a decade as well. I think he has learned classical for hardcore classical for about 12-15 years. Then he became a rock vocalist. Now does Riyaz every day and is a rock vocalist and is a bass guitarist and also plays some guitar in his free time, and also is a software developer. So, but his time is completely divided in between software development and music. So he's going to sing as well. He's going to have a chorus. He'll have 12-13 takes in the song, just like I already have. I have sung 12 separate layers in as part of the vocals. Another friend of mine will sing, Moinak Kormokar, who is the composer with whom I usually work for my arrangements. The guy who is the co-composer of all the songs that have been my biggest hits. Ailoma Barite, then last year's Durga Puja hit song by Ankita Bhattacharya called Uma Ashe Notun Saje. All of those are compositions of a brother duo called Moinak and Mallar. So Moinak is going to also do the singing. I am yet to do the outro percussion arrangement. And what else is left? I think the main thing left is the crowdfunding, beginning the Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign, and on which will depend which camera we are going to hire or rent. Okay, I am trying to go for the best possible camera because we are. I don't want this music video to compete with Tollywood stuff. I want it to compete with stuff that is liked all over the country, stuff that all our viewers usually watch, stuff that our viewers can proudly say that yes, this is a product of Bengal, but it's like the stuff from outside Bengal. Remember the problem with Bohurupi, Anit Dash? I had promoted Bohurupi vehemently from this channel, and some of our viewers came back and said that, Dada, yeah, I liked it, but it was not that great. It wasn't how you described it. And I said that, no, bro. Remember, I said it's not Kantara, Bahubali, RRR, etc. It's just light years ahead of whatever else was happening in Bengal. It's way better than all other Tollywood products. So I don't want my music video to compete with just Tollywood products. It has to compete with. I'm not mentioning the stuff I wanted to compete with because then you'll get a vibe of the song too early. But the song, the story it will have, the look, feel, etc., is going to compete with the best stuff in the country. Let's see. I will be doing a reaction video of the music video. Thank you, Nava Vimarsh. Here to learn is saying, in my debating career, I realized there are 4 problems: bad intentions, bad info, hence bad premise, bad syllogism. Yeah, 2 plus 2 is equal to 69. Bad IQ. It's frustrating to debate otherwise smart, but idiots, yes. Never debate a commie unless there's an audience present or you are getting paid to do it. And unless he's your friend. What do you think the Bengal file is going to show? Secular narrative or balance for avoiding outrage by the Islamist commie and Muslim appeasement? No, I don't think it's going to do a monkey balancing thing. Abhay Singh, क्या दिन आ गए है बंगाल के? कहाँ शोतोइत्रा और कहाँ बोरूपी? Yes. Dada, between John Jones and Khabib, who wins? You know they are from other separate weight groups, right? But if they were in the same weight class, then I think Khabib. Shomin Balti is saying, I'm against this Kanglu bullshit, but tell me why to not hate Biharis, UP people? Have you ever been to their areas? More or less they are same like Muslims, same encroaching mentality. Okay. Kwasan, the answer would be you have to pick a side because we are in the midst of a problem. We can't be too picky. And there's a reason that everyone hates Biharis, who are genetically speaking descendants of the Mauryan Empire, or the populace of the Mauryan Empire, and people who used to do great classical music up until a few decades back. What happened to that state? I refuse to hate someone for ending up turning into a bad, uncivilized person when there is socialism to be blamed. Don't do socialism in Bihar for 20 years. You'll see all of their behaviors changing like this. So, in general, I find it pointless to hate Biharis. Not that I don't agree with your observations. Yes, of course. Most of them are unhygienic people. Their habits are unhygienic. They are as rude as any Indian, I think. But since the problem is completely only and only socialism, I find it very unfair to hate them. Now, if I had an altercation with a Bihari guy right now, he called me Bengali, this and that, etc., I would hate that particular Bihari as much as Kangla Pakho hates Biharis. That would be a one-on-one interaction. But I just can't find it logical enough to hate Biharis in general, because the fault lies with socialism that has gone on in their state. This is Shourabh Das, by the way, the guy who was singing with me, who actually appeared on our podcast as well a few weeks back, and is going to sing one section of the entire Stotram himself. The other one question, as I am going to join IIT Kanpur for PhD, basically out of West Bengal. Now, if I write openly against TMC or any incident in West Bengal, can West Bengal police too much harass me? Yes. Panoli got arrested. You will get arrested, especially if you do it during the election phase, okay, or 1 month or 1 week before the elections. They are going to be very pissed off and very possessive about their election winning chances. So they are going to fuck with you any way they can. Varun Dev is saying Dada has reservations and other state benefits to lower castes affected them the way Lyndon Johnson program affected blacks. Absolutely. That is the nature of freebies. Ashwini Kumar is saying, why you guys hate Biharis too much? For not being as cleanly as other people. And by that other people, I mean other people who lived in states who have not seen the worst aspects of socialism the way Biharis have. সঞ্জীব ক্যান্সারের রিসেন্ট সঞ্জীব স্ক্যানারের রিসেন্ট আর্টিকেলটা পড়েছে, পপুলেশন কন্ট্রোলের বিরোধিতা করে এক হ্যান্ডেল পোস্ট করেছিল। নো, আই ডোন্ট নো হু সঞ্জীব স্ক্যানার ইজ। জয় বাংলা, ডোন্ট গিভ ফাক অল দোজ রিটার্ডেড স্প্রেডিং অ্যান্টি বেঙ্গলি থটস ইন কমেন্ট সেকশন। See, first of all, you can't speak English. All your English sentences have gigantic grammatical problems. So why aren't you typing in Bengali, or at least type proper English? Go to a Google or AI translator and type proper grammar, because you obviously hate Hindi speakers. You love English speakers. But anyway, uh, it will be proven who is a retard here if you answer correctly to this question. Who in the country, people from which state in the country are let's say holding their breath to get a job in West Bengal, other than Bihar? So you see, you are picking on the weakest kid in the class, who's almost handicapped, and making fun of them, because they are the only ones who still even now have to come to West Bengal for jobs because their state is that bad. That seems like a wrong thing to do, morally speaking. I don't believe everyone's models are same, but people like you usually have claims to these sorts of models. So for those reasons, I'm pointing out, based on your moral standards, it would seem to me you are being immoral. I have no problem with anybody come and compete with me. Only losers have problem with immigrants. Yes. No group of people are losers. Marathis are great people. Bengalis are great people. Please don't attack entire cultures. Let's see some questions and stuff. For me, Satyajit Ray's movie series on Oppo still flicks in my mind. I love Satyajit Ray movies. Mainly Sonar Kella and Chiriyakhana. I'm a Nanjan Datta guy. Dada, have you seen Gortapakho has started speaking against TMC? They are now with CPIM. Acha. No. Who they speak out against has nothing to do with who they will vote for or who they are in reality for or against. Okay, all of their statements are political maneuvers to benefit someone or the other. Allegedly, a lot of people say that they get funds from TMC. So unless those funds have stopped, they are not going to go against TMC really. Now, if the funds have stopped, then that might be a juicier thing to wonder about. Why have funds stopped to them? Is Trinamool not benefiting from them? Therefore, I guess Trinamool also wants some of that Hindutvadi non-Bengali vote. Therefore, they are stopping the funding of Gortapakho. Perhaps that might be the case. That might be what's going on. When you boast about being better than the lowest denominator, what does it Yes. That why are Indians so neglectful when it comes to hygiene? Kushal says it has nothing to do with poverty, because the other country were poor, very conscious when it comes to hygiene. I don't think so. I think it has to do with poverty only. A lack of time when you can at least contemplate even once in a day and think that, okay, this is unhygienic, or even to know this is unhygienic, or this dirty is the roads I'll walk on. I don't think poor people have the time to think that way. And especially when the laws are full of DEI and ESG. Laws are not applied at all in India because of just group identities. And people like Sanjeev Sanyal think it's going to get solved. Even Kushal Mehra think that it's going to solve just when you increase the number of police, which I 100% disagree with. Today, police officers are mainly either incompetent or assholes or both. We are going to have a bigger number of police officers who are either incompetent or assholes or both, because their incompetency and being assholes is happening because of policy positions. Policy positions which look at any rich person, any objectively richer person than the other guy in the conversation as the worst one. And if you can gather 200 people at the drop of a hat in front of a local police station, you are the guy who's going to win this situation or the debate. So in that situation, when there's zero accountability to be dirty or even think about dirt, etc., you're not going to have hygiene. And remember that we had caste-based discriminations and stuff because of hygiene. So most Indians do care about hygiene, or at least used to care about hygiene in specific ways. Aritra is saying, Aritra Bhattacharya is saying, Hygiene is not the reason for hating Biharis. Raj Thackeray gave the real reason. Biharis changed demography drastically and from their own constituencies and lobby groups. They are supremely political. Raj Thackeray does not understand economics, and if he knew economics, he would understand that if Maharashtra did not have a place called Mumbai, Nagpur, or if those cities also did socialism, if Maharashtra was a dirt fucking poor state, all Marathis would go everywhere in the other states of India and do that exact same thing. Okay? Okay, movie questions. Indian movies are becoming more and more fighting action genre without any sensible storyline or even good music. Agree, disagree? Most of them are not very good fighting action movies, because for good action, okay, you might like that one guy moves one arm and 50 people fly around everywhere. How long are you going to really watch that? And especially when people are other sets of people are growing up on John Wick and stuff. So someday people will have to learn some fighting. Someday editing will have to get better when you don't cut right at the point where a person is about to get hit, etc. But yes, I agree. But when did we really have sensible storylines and stuff? I don't think there has been an objective significant decline in Indian movies as a whole. Only decline I see is in West Bengal. Overall, I see overall Indian movies are definitely getting better because of the South contributing to that statistic. Bollywood, I think, is doing a similar kind of job as they used to do. If we unanimously disagree what is good and what is bad. Shomin Balti is saying, but why should I care about what will happen with Biharis if they reject socialism? It's like, if Muslims love jihadi mindset, then they will be good. It's their problem. Only reason is because they are your allies, your coalition partners in a completely different problem with different people. No other reason. And anyway, being unhygienic is not illegal, for which you can't kick people out of your state. Remember the garbage blocking the 2 lanes of Central Avenue. When you have tough life, hygiene is not your priority. Yes. You should read recent article of Sanjeev Sanyal, who shared his views against population control and low fertility rate of Indian population, and then share your opinion. Huge population is also a problem. Huge population is not a problem. Huge population is only a problem when you have socialism, because you have to give freebies to so many people. Otherwise, it's only a benefit. But I did read the headline of that article. I know that he has written an article like that against population control. Even rich Indians have got bad hygiene. Come on, I don't know that many rich Indians, but I don't know of any upper middle class guy who has bad hygiene. Out of context, regime change in Iran maybe in next 3 weeks or earlier. Yeah. That I think people over are Maha just by looking at Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune heavily skew the data of Maharashtra, take them out of equation. We are comparable. No, every state is comparable to Bihar if you take out the cities. Andhra Pradesh to provide rupees 15,000 annually to every school-going child in an eligible household. वाह मोदी जी वाह. अब 15,000 ही तो दिया है, थोड़ी 20,000 दिया है. थोड़ी इनकम इनइक्वालिटी कम हो जाएगा इससे, थोड़ी राइजिंग वेल्थ इनइक्वालिटी कम हो जाएगा इससे, थोड़ी ऊंच नीच का जो तनाव है वो चला जाएगा. गरीब फिर भी गरीब ही रहेंगे. TFR won't increase unless traditional roles are embraced fully. You can't have a job with 3-4 kids. For most people, of course, yes. Poor people, 30-40% duty comes from Mumbai only. Yes, and that's the issue with Karnataka even. The way Karnataka pride activists talk about Karnataka in the discourse of outsiders, etc., they pretend as if Bengaluru is the entirety of Karnataka. Let Bengaluru become a separate state and see how much of their Kannada pride remains. They'll beg for immigrants immediately. AC temperature, yeah. One guy commented in our comment section, our old viewer M Shastri, that it's just simple randirona on that topic, because if you really need to set your AC below 20, it means your AC is broken. In India, you don't really need to go below 20. Why would you need to sleep in 16, 17? Yeah, maybe some ultra rich kids who are sleeping with quilts and all, because they study in the West and they can't stand Indian climate at all. They want to replicate that Western climate in India absolutely, and love the feeling of two quilts on their feeble bodies, feeble gender not neutral bodies. For them maybe, but everyone else in India doesn't really go below 24. I think 25, 26 is the standard for most 99.99% of Indian ACs and people with Indians with ACs. Now, I obviously think the state should not decide what temperature you can have your AC in. Secondly, especially because most Indians even don't go below 24. Now, the criticism of Ankit Shah for saying that we are not going to conform to Western tourists and give them the temperature they seek. Again, it's kind of Bengalis rejecting Biharis or any immigrants, because it's not like we are a hub for anything and at the same time we are kicking people out. So it's not like a lot of people in the world have a great impression of India in the first place. On top of that, you want to come across as the, let's say, as a guy fully in the camp of the ruling party. Therefore, you are saying immediately after this policy suggestion comes in that, yeah, we are not going to conform to the demands of tourists just because they want to replicate the temperatures of their home countries. Now, that argument is absolute horseshit, because why 24 and 25, bro? Is 24 and 25 degrees Celsius the temperature of the country? Why 24, 26? तुम्हारा डिकोलोनियलिटी 24, 26 में काहे अटका है? वो क्या सनातन टेम्परेचर है? और 24 के नीचे से वेस्टर्न स्टाइल कैपिटलिज्म शुरू होता है, 24 से 26 तक सनातन रहता है. वो कैसे होता है? तो भाई सनातन रहना है, डिकोलोनाइज करना है, तो एसी को बाहर लात मार के निकालो, डोनेट करो किसी को. AC temperature debate is, BJP has said that they are planning to regulate by law that ACs can't go below 20, etc. or 24. Indians should live without ACs. Our strong point is being adaptable to temperature variations. I have been to Mumbai twice or thrice. I have never been to Bengaluru. Now, my friends who live there keep on saying that Bengaluru's climate and Mumbai's climate is really, really beautiful because of the lack of humidity, I think, or just the temperature is not that great. And it's really a climate where you feel like working a lot, which is not the case at all in Kolkata. And 38 degrees with 99 or 100 and 200% humidity that Kolkata has. Fuck that. I don't have any time to become adaptable to 38 degrees and 99% humidity. Fuck that shit. I'm not decolonizing my temperature. Why Indian government practicing socialism all the time? Because that gets them votes. Even hygiene requires laws. Even rich Indians are stinky and have bad breath problem. Just shut up. Give me the names. How many rich Indians you know? And where did you find out that they have bad breath, etc. And bad breath does not happen because of hygiene problems. You are dumb fuck who does not know how protein is processed in the body. Most bodybuilders have bad breaths. I had a gay friend who used to say that bodybuilders are the worst men to ever fuck because of their bad breath. Because high protein consumption gives you bad breath. High carbohydrate consumption, which is absolutely bad for the looks of your physique, gives you an absolutely non-smelly breath. It has nothing to do with how much you brush your teeth. It has everything to do with your digestive system. Kolkata was hotter than any district in Bangladesh. Modi become full Ambedkar Sabka Desh, Sabka Vishwas Vada Pav. Next year he will be. Yeah. That gets him votes. More than bad breath, bigger problem with bodybuilders is their fat. Yeah. Again, because of high protein. VS committee, you can't even survive in small towns like Midnapur without. Oh yeah. Especially small towns like Midnapur because they are farther away from the sea. Holy shit! Central West Bengal is goddamn being close to the sun. Okay. Bolpur, Shantiniketan, Bakura in summers. Fuck! I would not send my worst enemies to Bakura in summer. What do you think about conversion film? I think it's equally, its quality is normal as per Bollywood standard. Why do right wing shit on it? Because it's too much Hindutva. What is the conversion film? Do you mean the name of the movie is Conversion? I don't know of such a movie. Tatvik is saying, bro, bodybuilders don't always fart, depends on the diet. But as if the bodybuilders have some variations in their diet. If they are meat eating bodybuilders, all of their diet is same only. Have a lot of protein shake, have 50,000 eggs in a day, have chicken, rice and broccoli. Except rice, all of that food is going to give you bad farts and bad breaths only. Free ruafza. Oh yeah, that was going to happen. Yes, and you can't protest free ruafza in Park Circus because of Bali Pratha. Because commies are all day long bringing up Bali these days. Varun Dev is saying, check out my comment. Varun Dev. Where is Varun Dev's previous comment? Yeah. Dada, Raj Thackeray and others who talk about migration don't ever talk about internal migration to Mumbai and Pune. Yes, fucking literally. Yes. मुंबई का कल्चर काहे चेंज हो रहा है बाकी महाराष्ट्र के वजह से? बेंगलुरु का ओरिजिनल बेंगलुरु कल्चर तो बाकी कन्नड़ा पीपल के वजह से चेंज होता होगा, वो काहे? पूरा का पूरा कर्नाटका क्या मोनोलिथ है? तो यस, सिटी के शोल्डर्स पे खड़े होके डायलॉग बाजी. और अब कोलकाता ऐसे सिचुएशन में है कि सिटी भी नहीं है, मतलब मेट्रोपॉलिटन भी नहीं है, वेस्ट बंगाल का स्टेट का जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट भी इंडिया के स्टेट्स में टॉप 10-20 में नहीं है, फिर भी जिंदगी झंडमा, फिर भी घमंडमा. द इंसेंटिव्स अगेंस्ट हिंदू टीएफआर आर डीपली स्ट्रक्चरल. एब्सोल्युटली. I don't see one single incentive in favor of having kids for Hindus. Except just the social responsibility thing that yes, I will vote for BJP just because some Hindus somewhere are having a problem, even if I'm not affected directly, etc. Stuff like that. Do you know there is a film of Aparna Sen, Ghode Baire, is full of leftist propaganda. Ghode Baire Abar, right? Yeah, just a few days back I was informed of this film by a commie friend of mine. She was telling me about this movie, Ghode Baire Abar. That and there's one reason, Kuasan, why there's a positive takeaway from that Ghode Baire Abar film by Aparna Sen, okay? The fact that they still don't know that the basic core prerequisite of Hindutva is breaking down caste barriers. That's a boon you can't really buy in a supermarket, okay? These are good things that just happen to you, okay? It's absolutely beautiful, I think, that an intellectual, a leftist intellectual of Aparna Sen's stature is this ignorant, because that leaves them napping. Therefore, we will have a field day with such people when the time comes. And we are having a field day with these people already because of ignorance like this. She shows just because a guy is Hindutvadi is definitely casteist. Lol. It's like she has not read a single page of anything on BJP or their history ever. All they know is that, yeah, they did Gujarat riots. That's all she knows about BJP, I think. Dada, why do Kolkata people smoke so much? Because it used to be cool. It's still cool. Dada, why Milley's achievement are not as widespread as others' achievement? It's just American right wing talking about him. Leftist media doesn't even care. Yes, because everyone else's achievements were celebrated by leftists because they were allegedly leftist policies which were allegedly succeeding. This is a self-declared anti-left guy. His policies are not going to be celebrated no matter what he does. Anand Mandal is saying garbage movie. Anirban was horrible to watch. Even Aparna Sen. Dada, do you think we should create more Hindutva groups so that they can't pinpoint Hindutva to RSS or BJP and shame their weakness to us? Who's this we? We randomly can't create anything. This requires funding and stuff. If someone wants to create and has funding for that, I think they should. I think that already happens. But they don't sustain because everyone in the end wants some money or has some political dreams and etc. So it's going to be fucked. Rishabh is saying, okay, Rishabh is contributing to the GDP growth rate of West Bengal and saying PM bodybuilders को Colgate दिलाओ योजना. Colgate से वो fix नहीं होगा. Why did USA right wing not celebrate Thomas Sowell for decades? Leftist, I can understand. Varun Dev, most people in the right, in the population base did not know about Thomas Sowell because he had been hidden under the carpet. The people who did know, the academics who read a lot, like people like Ben Shapiro and all, they have been celebrating Thomas Sowell forever. Check out anyone ever asking Ben Shapiro for decades. that who would be your ideal presidential candidate. He has been repeatedly saying Thomas Sowell because he is someone who would run the economy in a great way, and he does not actually want to be the president. And Ben Shapiro says that one of his basic demands from any guy who becoming the president will be that he should not want to become a president. He will end up having to become the president just because of social pressure and stuff. So yes, in right-wing educated academic circles, which is a very small section in any country, right-wingers usually don't read a lot of stuff. They are happy with their life, family, business, etc. in every country. If at all they read, they are reading workout magazines maybe, or STEM stuff, finance stuff, not really economic counters to leftists, because leftist stuff is usually also considered to be an obvious go-to, that yeah, obviously I'm poor, obviously the government will help me out, yeah, obviously why should Ambani be richer than me, etc. Obviously, bro. So even though that stuff is not really that mainstream in USA, but it was made to be mainstream, it was forced down people's throats. So Thomas Sowell never really was able to dig out of the shithole he was put in. Now he has been, because of coronavirus only. Everyone sat at home and looked at his videos and books, etc. আদিত্য প্রসাদ সিং, দাদা একটা তোমার কমপ্লিট পড়া বুকসের লিস্ট দাও, আগেরটা অনেক পুরনো হয়ে গেছে, আপডেট চাই এখন থেকে নতুন। Yeah, what books did I finish after the last video? We completed Poetics by Aristotle, Dr. Janki Bakle's book Savarkar and the Making of Hindutva, Veer Savarkar's collection of Veer Savarkar's works called Hindu Rashtra Darshan, which includes his writings on the Maratha Confederacy, many of his speeches, and essentials of Hindutva. I completed that. And then I completed the book called a fictional story called Anthem by Ayn Rand, which was gifted by an audience member. What else did I completely read? I don't think anything else. Oh, Vivek's book. What's it called? Truths by Vivek, which we completed in one live stream. What else? I don't think anything else. I've been reading really less. I'll have to increase it from this week. Rishabh Singh asks, is the Assam government decision to allow locals to arm themselves the start of libertarianism and Hindutva 2.0 in India? Excuse me. It will probably lead to that discourse. At some point, someone has to grow the balls to say, if it's okay for indigenous people and tribals, why is it not okay for me? पुलिस का क्या ऐसा प्यार मोहब्बत है मुझसे जो कि ट्राइबल्स के साथ नहीं है? Yes, after all, I live in a city, therefore police will probably listen to me more. But the point is, whether you are indigenous or a rich fuck or an outsider, the point is, the moment you are going to get killed, the situation when it arrives, you can't wait for the police. No matter how great the police, you can't have one police outside your home all day. So obviously you need a gun. So I think it will create a discourse like that, because the people who are in their mid-20s, even late 20s, early 20s, so definitely are way more intelligent and don't have let's say that party loyalty really towards BJP, even if they're right-wingers, and they do ask a lot of tough questions, which are tough to both politicians and thinkers, intellectuals all around. I don't see all that too much of hero worship in that group who are the tastemakers and trendsetters inside the Indian right wing, and the base even. The hero worship of Modi that happens in the right wing, that's of course the majority, but the majority does not create the taste. They are not the ones who are contributing to the discourse at all. They are just going around saying yes, he is doing a right thing, Modi is doing a right thing. That I was astonished when you said that in ancient India was not a high trust society. I mean, many historians, including leftists, have written about how much trustworthy, honest, honorable we were. Yes, we were, on an individual level and with our castes. Intercaste, no. Is jumping down to political reality a thing to be considered? Yeah, of course, forever. Never be loyal to a party. Loyalty is always only towards the country. Yes. The Conversion was the title, free on YouTube because nobody supported it. I see. On Love Jihad. The Conversion. I see. দাদা ইকোনমিক্সের বুকসগুলোর জন্য কি কোনো বেসিক করেছিলে? You mean basic course? Yes, I did 2 microeconomics courses on Coursera from University of Pennsylvania. But even before that, I had read 1 or 2 books of Thomas Sowell, and then I got more interested, and then decided, okay, let's learn some technicalities and basics at least. Um, Big beautiful bill blanket tariffs increase in debt ceiling. A large portion of MAGA crowd hate free market for some reason. They blame billionaires for immigration. Yes, that's only now, and especially after Vivek pissed them off. Lol. So Thomas Sowell is not going to be their guy anymore. After all, वो सब चलता है कि नहीं कोई आके मेरा नौकरी खा लेगा. MIT Open Courseware is better. I like MIT Open Courseware. I have seen Abhijit Banerjee and Esther Duflo's entire course as well. Even I think MIT Open Courseware also has a microeconomics course. But I prefer Coursera more only because it has a proper structure. No, you can peer review your the answers you wrote, your assignments, and it's properly in the form of lecture. Even logistically speaking, because of the GUI, which is not going to be the case in terms of the YouTube videos. But otherwise, I like MIT OpenCourseware. But also, they don't have too much variety because of they have a bunch of STEM stuff, obviously, because they are in the end mainly a STEM university, but not too much social science stuff. My favorite sociology course on YouTube is based on in the realm of the OpenCourseware stuff is the one from New York University. There you have a great professor teaching, explaining sociology beautifully. It's a 22 lecture series. It's a BA sociology thing. BA sociology course. So just micro, no macro, or econometrics. Okay, fair enough. আসলে জিজ্ঞেস করার কারণ হলো অভিজিৎ ব্যানার্জির বইটা আমার একটু নড়বড়ে মনে হলো আর রিসেন্টলি ওই রঘুরাম রাজানের বইটাও অড লাগলো. Yeah, I don't know anything about macroeconomics or econometrics. Not anything by I mean yes, in that microeconomics course I learned at least how economics happens, and all my economics yarn otherwise is mainly from Thomas Sowell and people like Thomas Sowell, from reading their books. So I have not read Abhijit Banerjee's new book, of course, but yes, their stuff is shoddy and shaky. Abhijit Banerjee called for the printing of endless amount of money and stimulating the Indian economy after coronavirus lockdowns. How can an economist worth his salt say that? Even Subramaniam Swamy said that. These were very, very unfair, borderline evil, and I think sinister statements. Your loyalty should be to your agendas, yes. Check my comment about Kaushik Ganguly film. Okay. Why Indian girls has so much obsession, crush towards so-called average... that has been... That is the power of narrative. If that hadn't happened, we could have concluded that, no, the thing called narratives doesn't really work, you know. You see, you don't have to do Brahmin Bhojan to achieve anything, you know. But the very fact that people worship and have a crush and obsession over Shah Rukh Khan proves that narratives work and discourse work and pop culture works. It has... Everything else was eliminated. Only he was put on spotlight forever and ever. Only his way of doing things was highlighted everywhere else, in all other fields as well. The Islamic hate culture, Urdu shairi is beautiful, everything sounds better in Urdu, all of that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, its main competitor Sanskrit was shown only in bad light. Anyone who speaks Sanskrit in Bollywood movies is either a dumb fuck or a fucking asshole, right? So, and anyone who speaks Urdu is a hardworking poor guy or is an erudite scholar. That is the power of narratives and propagandas. Hence, Brahmin Bhojan. So, meanwhile, you don't know how to speak proper Bengali, Shuddh Hindi, Sanskrit to chori do. Meanwhile, you are wasting your time understanding songs which are unintelligible to 90% of Indians. Illahi mera ji aaya hai. Or perfecting your kh pronunciation. Khushbu. Whenever someone obsesses over their kh pronunciation in Bollywood, I am reminded of Habib Nurmagomedov. Everyone had a tough time pronouncing Habib's name. Some people called him Khabib, some people called him Habib, whereas it's supposed to be that Urdu way, bro. Habib Nurmagomedov. That's garbage you just said. Is there some government? Okay. Where are the other comments? The sheer amount of propaganda we were raised on, yes. Our rishis were right, see everything is connected. We are going from economics to dating. That does grate me when I rewatch old Bollywood movies on TV these days. Yeah. Raghuram Rajan. Acha, Varun Dev, repeat your comment. Can you find it? I can't find it. Where is Varun Dev's previous comment? Previous comment on Koshi. High Trust Society that we discussed. Do you mean the High Trust Society thing only? Why do Kolkata people spoke so much? Yeah, we answered that. Dada, why Milley's achievement? Oh, this so we discussed. Oh, current comments kahan? Brahmin Bhojan is an absolute necessity by the right, but the problem, but the right is not conservative. That's the problem. I don't think even conservatism is necessary for a good right wing, because you see the problem with conservatives everywhere. It's not really a problem, but the interesting observation that you can make about conservatives everywhere is that all they are saying is that yes, whatever progress has happened to our country or society up until the last 50 years back, that was great. Not anymore. Whatever's happening right now is bad. So every conservative usually depends the progressive positions of 40 years prior or 50 years prior or 30 years prior. तो ऐसा मूवमेंट के लिए मुझे तो टाइम स्पेंड नहीं कर रहा है. I would say I am a progressive and liberal, but I also therefore acknowledge the threats to progressivism and liberalism. I don't see a point in picking and choosing random things that you want to conserve, because वैसे भी कंजर्व क्या उखाड़ोगे लड़े 30-40 साल पहले का CPM का पॉलिसी पोजीशन डिफेंड करना पड़ेगा, जैसे कि आज के रिपब्लिकन पार्टी का हाल है. All their positions are basically that of a 60s or 70s liberal. तो सेकेंड हैंड ही करना है तो भाई फर्स्ट हैंड ही करते हैं, बट नॉट विदाउट एक्नॉलेजिंग योर थ्रेट्स टू योर सोसाइटी. प्रोग्रेसिव हो, कंजर्वेटिव हो, हिंदुत्ववादी हो, सनातन इकोनॉमिस्ट हो, जो कि एसी के बिना रहता है मेदिनीपुर पे, थ्रेट तो है कि नहीं, उसमें यूनानिमस डिसीजन चाहिए. उसके बाद तुम कंजर्वेटिव बनो, प्रोग्रेसिव बनो, मुझे देखना नहीं है. उसके बाद हम तुमसे डिबेट कर ही लेंगे. Kha from Epiglottis as SRK thought stupid Indians, Mongolian surname Khan. Did I miss anything here? Oh yeah, so Aditya Prasad was saying Raghuram Rajan to breaking the mold এ একবার পুরো সার্ভিস সেক্টর ইকোনমিতে সুইচ করার জায়গায় কথা বলেছে instead of improving our manufacturing sector. Your thoughts? Aditya Prasad, here I have a handicap, which is, first of all, I don't look at hardcore economics data, so I wouldn't be able to say which is the right thing for India. So I listen to people I like, experts, and on all sides. Now, many people on the right wing side also say that yes, we probably have missed the bus. Now we must focus on agriculture. And some people say no, we must do agriculture, manufacturing, and services. So I'm not really sure which is the ideal way. Let's see. It's actually a social justice movement that takes itself too seriously. Yes, it is a social justice movement that I hope to remind people of without justifying reservations. The question is, who are Brahmin in today's world? The people who were Brahmins in the yesteryears as well. The people who run the government, not run, people who serve in the government, and teachers, lawyers, etc. Our right tries to be more liberal than the liberal. The problem is our right tries to be liberal in the liberal way, in the mainstream liberal way. Not in the Savarkarite liberal way. Savarkar was a liberal. तो ये वो लो टेस्टोस्टेरोन लिबरलिज्म है जो कॉपी करना है इनको. Brahmins are academics, yes. Yeah, Varun Dev, we discussed this. Kaushik Ganguly, Lokhi Chele, another propaganda. Muslim guy becomes victim, social reformer, secular, and also showed Hindu girl and Muslim guy. Lokhi Chele was Kaushik Ganguly's or Nandita Shiva Prasad? Can you confirm? I thought Nandita Shiva Prasad, no? Oh, it's by Kaushik Ganguly. Oh, तब तो होगा ही. Produced by Nandita Roy and Shiva Prasad. I see. Directed by Kaushik Ganguly. No. Then you can't blame just Kaushik Ganguly. क्योंकि film production means they had a lot of say in everything, in the script, story, everything, bro. Dada, have you read any ancient science of India? I guess kinds of books, good or bad. Any suggestions? No, I have not. But Dada, I have read a lot of Tantra books. If you can, that's actually truly science of that era. Proto-science, you can call it. But not the stuff that is not scientific but now claims to have some relevance in today's science, etc. Those kinds of books I have not read. Yeah, Varun Dev, we addressed that ancient India thing. that yes, it was in fact high trust inside castes. Intercaste, there was no trust. And on an individual level, if you're from my caste, then it's a high trust society. আদিত্য প্রসাদ ইজ সেইং বাট দাদা এখানে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন এটাও থাকে যে তাহলে ব্রাজিল ভিয়েতনামের মতো কান্ট্রি কেন এখনও ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিংয়ে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করছে হার্ডকোর লেভেলে, কারণ সবাই জানে চায়না প্লাস ওয়ান পলিসির ব্যাপারে। ইয়া দেয়ারফর আই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ আ সলিড স্টান্স অন দ্যাট। ওয়েস্ট হ্যাজ রুইন্ড ইটস সোসাইটি অ্যান্ড কালচার বাই বিং আলট্রা প্রোগ্রেসিভ। No, they have not ruined their society by being ultra progressive. They have ruined their society by being ultra progressive while ignoring threats to their society. Otherwise, progress is what always happens. What you are considering ultra progressive is whatever is too much progress for right now. So even that thing, what you consider is ultra progressive and therefore unwanted or unacceptable, will become the norm again in 30 years. So what I'm saying is, if it's wrong in 30 years, it's wrong even now. And if it's not wrong in 30 years, it's not wrong now. So I don't fear progress, I fear threats to society. The quality of output of democracy depends on the quality of demography. What's your opinion? Yes, only in the starting position. After that, democracy itself kills itself because of the nature of democracy. It has to appease maximum numbers of people. And also people have to stay in power. So democracy is always going to be a downhill, a race to the bottom. But in the beginning, what the country does is the quality of the demography. That's where it matters. Which is why like everyone thought India was going to get broken up into 50 different countries because of endless riots. It did not happen. Which is why today we have a GDP per capita like sub-Saharan Africa, but we don't perform like that. We are always, both Indians and non-Indians, criticize our cities and societies for not being as good as India and US, whereas other poor, dirt poor countries like ours, are not even in the conversation. So yes, our demography is objectively better than a lot of other countries, but it's always a race to the bottom. Rishabh is saying if you don't go for manufacturing, either by controlling the capital like the US or the actual production like China, you will always suffer additional pressures from foreign powers. Manufacturing is a national security issue, I see. So we need to we need to support manufacturing. I have 2 cents on manufacturing. Yeah, you can join. I have 2 cents on the manufacturing discussion. Should I join the link for the chat? What's in a name is saying, Dada, I know someone who follows Islam and has the last name Khatun, but they carry a Hindu name as well, last name Shah. Holy shit. Fuck. So first name and last name both is Hindu. Oh, last name is Khatun. So Khatun Shah. That's how their surname is. Shah Khatun or Khatun Shah. No, then it can't be illegal, because if they are saying it's Khatun, then they are admitting they're Muslim. Then it can't be illegal. Yeah, go ahead, Rishabh.
Yes, hi, Darren. So, यहाँ पे okay, just a very limited point again on manufacturing and why I support manufacturing in India. Operation Sindoor is why I support manufacturing in India in a very short way. You cannot have, see, certain sectors are of course, very critical, like defense manufacturing and all. We used to completely outsource it. We used to be the largest importer of defense equipment. If something like Sindoor happened and if, say, it was sustained for, say, instead of 3 days, 3 months, how do you expect to do that if your, defense equipment's coming in from halfway across the world through all of these choke points in the Red Sea or the Singapore Passage and all of that stuff? That is number one. Number two is, see, there is a cap to the number of white collar jobs that any country can produce. It's a different thing if you're a bloody Luxembourg with 2,000 people in your country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it is also an issue. Either be rich enough that you can do some sort of socialist shenanigans and get people to not kill you as the government. You do some UPI or something like that if you're someone like Sweden. But if you're not, you need to make sure that people are earning a decent wage and are able to move out of an agricultural agrarian society. Because agrarian societies will always be very weak feudalistic societies. And that is why you need manufacturing. Saying that, hey, we've missed the bus of manufacturing it's a dumb thing. I mean, decide करता है क्या कोई कि अच्छा 20 साल है ये 20 साल का पीरियड में अगर तुम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं कर रहे हो, यू मिस द बस ऑन इट. चाइना मिस द bus on manufacturing too because it was not industrialized in the 1870s. बाद में मौका आया तो they industrialized it. This is a very, we've missed the bus on manufacturing. Oh, I mean, क्या है, 12th का बोर्ड्स है क्या, एक बार दे दिए वापस नहीं दे सकते. So it's a very idiotic thought. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I have very little respect for Raghuram Rajan as an economist. I am nowhere nearly as qualified as him, but I know a little bit. I studied economics at a postgraduate level as well during my MBA, and
Acha.
I don't understand how these people come to such conclusions. I mean, it's very basic stuff to know that you need to create massive blue collar middle income or low middle income jobs, especially for a country like India, in order to reach a position where you need where you don't need to feed people on a daily
Yeah.
basis regularly. So it's that on one end, on the other end is the Jai Kisan nonsense. Very honestly, you, you want to fetishize certain professions and certain uh, businesses like kisan or teacher or whatever. You want to keep them in poverty, but you want to, in lieu of poverty, you want to give them some sort of social prestige, manufactured social prestige. I mean, जब भूखे मर रहे हो तो social prestige का क्या कर लोगे? So again, that is also why you need manufacturing in order to make sure that these people have a better life. You see, what most people in India don't understand is what is the definition of a better life. A definition of a better life today in a capitalist world, and whether people like it or not, capitalism is the way of the world today. And economics, you have to understand, is like physics.
Yeah.
You can not bend or break the new laws of physics. You
Hmm.
cannot bend or break the laws of economics. And
Yeah.
economics says the more you consume, the better off you are. The more you consume, the more someone else consumes, because your consumption is someone else's income. Someone else's
Yes.
income is your consumption. And
Yes.
it is a positive loop. That is why capitalism is called the rising tide that lifts all boats.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you need to make sure that you have systems in place that actually increases incomes, and incomes will increase at set par at matlab, if everything else is also the same, income will still increase because the economy will always keep adding things like inflation, external pressures hoga, and because of that you will always find okay, there's a 4% 3% increase in income even in a very stagnant society, in a stagnant
Yeah.
economy like some Western European country. The point is not that. The point is to beat inflation. That is when prosperity happens. And that is where you need manufacturing, because agriculture has a hard limit. Manufacturing does not have a hard
Yeah.
limit. Now,
Yeah.
over here, one caveat is that we have to be very careful about what kind of manufacturing we do. The big mistake that China did is that it focused on manufacturing for the world. Now, a lot of people who are like India say, "Ye export karo, wo export karo." I am not that interested in that. Honestly,
Acha.
export nahi karenge chalega. We need to manufacture for our own domestic base as
Hmm.
priority number one, because that is when we keep that feedback loop within the country. Now, if we just
Hmm.
manufacture for export, number one, again you are having that same problem कि कल sanctions लग गए, तुम्हारा manufacturing ठप हो गया, that you lose out on everything overnight. But if you're
Hmm.
manufacturing with your own capital for your own country first, and then you export only the surplus, go back to the basics exam.
Hmm.
Manufacture for your own domestic base first, and then you export the surplus. That will ensure that you have a sturdy industrial base. This is in a
Right.
large sense what countries like Iran are doing. The reason why
Hmm.
Iran is not collapsing despite the whole world not doing any trade with them is
Yeah.
because despite all of the problems, and there are a million problems over there.
Hmm.
So economically, it's in a very bad situation. But the reason why it's not bloody Libya or Yemen is because they had their own domestic industrial base. Iran would have
Hmm.
been a first world country today if
Yeah.
the revolution had not happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what has saved them. And so that is why manufacturing is a national security issue. It is also an economic strategy issue. And anyone who says that India should just skip manufacturing and go into services economy is just, they're dooming the future of this country to work in low end, BPO style work and the rest, and that too for a very small number, while the rest toil in the fields and be laborers and be Swiggy delivery boys. So yeah,
Rishabh,
Raghuram, mhm,
Rishabh, what do we do about the decolonialization or decoloniality wing argument against manufacturing? The
which
nature,
is
environment, etc. That too will absolutely get more and more and more hampered as industrialization increases. Not to mention, in a situation where in an era where we are entering, where people are becoming more and more inclined towards decoloniality, even urban people all of a
hmm,
sudden. So in that situation,
mhm.
how are we going to go on destroying our mountains and forests, etc., which are worshipped by some tribe or the other in the entire country?
Okay. Uh, Fine. Fair, good question. India is the, I think Jayashankar said this. Like, this is how you counter it. I'll tell you first how to counter it, then what I actually believe. How
Hmm.
you counter it is Jayashankar's comment basically that India is the cleanest economy to reach $5 trillion ever in the history of everyone. If you build your own manufacturing capability, that builds up your spending capacity for the people, which reduces the socialist burden on the government, which can then focus on things like R&D. Private institutions also can then focus on R&D, which builds cleaner capabilities. What is the problem with climate change narratives? In the year 2000 or sometime in the 90s or the 2000s, there was this pact called the Kyoto Protocol, which was signed. It was one
Yeah.
of those, environment things where the
Yeah.
West basically said, कि ठीक है, we are going to subsidize a lot of climate, green energy, R&D in the third world, in the developing world, which never came through. And that was the basic idea of that itself. कि we give you this cash infusion, you do your R&D, you implement green energy. India was
Hmm.
able to do that despite the Kyoto Protocol never having been properly implemented by the
Hmm.
West. So it
Yeah.
is again the same rising tide thing. शुरू में होगा,
Yeah.
but then as we keep on improving our economic situation, we will keep becoming more and more efficient, and we can then ensure that as we go into from 5 to 10, it will be even cleaner than our March to 5. Our March to 10 will be even cleaner than that, and it will keep going on and on. And that is how we can preserve our culture. Like you said, if you're poor, you don't care if the streets are dirty. If you're wealthy,
Yeah.
you have the both the time and the resources to do something about it. That
Yeah.
is what we tell the people. What I
Yeah.
actually believe is माँ बहन करे यार क्या फर्क पड़ता है, भूखे मर रहे हैं हम लोग, why do you want to care about that? लगाओ, अगर पैसे आएंगे 10 ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स लगाओ ना गंगा जी में.
तुम मेरा और सब्सक्राइबर कम करवाओगे. हर दिन मैं ऐसे कुछ बोलता हूँ जिससे 5-10 लोग अनसब्सक्राइब करते हैं. अब तुम्हारा सुन के और भी
No,
लोग
I
चले जाएंगे.
mean, you have to. It's a tightrope. Let's be honest. Like there are no free lunches. It's a tightrope. If you want prosperity, you have to deal with that. Once you get that money in, then you put that on conservation. Na?
Yeah.
How many tigers did we have in the 80s compared to how many tigers do we have today?
अरे कॉन्जर्वेशन का जो मेन फैक्टर है, जो फिलोसफी है बिहाइंड कॉन्जर्वेशन और थिंकिंग लाइक अ कॉन्जर्वेशनिस्ट, वही तो कोई मानने को राजी नहीं है. तुम कंजर्व करोगे कब? जब पूरा का पूरा सोसाइटी को कुछ आता जाता नहीं है, दे आर टू पुअर टू केयर अबाउट इट. तब बोलेंगे नहीं सरकार को कुछ करना चाहिए. सरकार ब्लाइंडली, मतलब पूरा का पूरा सोसाइटी एक चीज मांगेगा और सरकार कुछ उल्टी तरफ जाके मैजिकली कुछ कंजर्व कर लेगा, ऐसा हो जाएगा सिर्फ इंटेंशंस की वजह से.
Exactly.
ये अजीब
सरकार
चीज
माँ
में
बाप है ना.
विश्वास करते हैं. हाँ. तो
That
वो
is the
बिलीफ ही
thing.
प्रॉब्लमेटिक है.
Yeah, so you say this, you have to empower the society and the government to do that. Use that left wing nonsense for this. But basically, ultimately, it's that if there are more resources in the country, you will not have to do all of that triage. Let me give you another example of that. Northeast India. Why are there relatively so few separatist movements that are happening in Northeast India right now compared to earlier? Because we are now manufacturing, we are now a richer country, which means that we can afford to invest in the Northeast. Pehle in the
Yes.
50s, 60s, 40s, let's be honest, the Northeast was completely neglected because of lack of resources. We had to do some level of triage. There were parts of the country which were prioritized.
और
Now
वो
that we
बोल के
have money,
वो
Mhm.
वो तो मिशनरीज के हाथ में छोड़ भी दिया गया, और छोड़ के वहाँ के टेररिस्ट और सेसेशनिस्ट बोलने लगे कि देखो ये देश, ये मुल्क तो तुम्हारा नहीं है एटसेट्रा. अब वो बोलने का तो एक्सक्यूज ही हर रोज कम हो रहा है कि जब देख रहा है कि भाई ट्रेन तो अब मेरे घर के सामने आ रहा है. तो मैं तो 2010 तक भी ऐसे लोगों को जानता था जो लोग घूमने जाते थे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, कि दे हैव मेट पीपल हु हैव नॉट सीन अ रेडियो इन देयर लाइव्स इवन इवन 10-15 years बैक. तो अब अगर
Yeah.
उनके उनके घर के सामने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, वो नाम, वो इंडिया जिसके बारे में हम सुनते हैं, न्यू दिल्ली एक्सेट्रा, जो कि वो तो अपना देश मानते ही नहीं है बहुत लोग, तो उनका
Yeah.
ट्रेन यहाँ पे आ रहा है. अब हम नौकरी के लिए, कुछ कैजुअल पढ़ाई के लिए, नौकरी के लिए हम भी यहाँ से ही ट्रेन लेके कहीं पे चले जाएंगे, गरीब है अगर, या फिर वहाँ यहाँ से लोग आएंगे और भी यहाँ पे कुछ ना कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रहा है, होगा, होते रहेगा. तब तो पहली बात है, उनके सेसेशनिस्ट का बोलने का तो एक्सक्यूज ही नहीं बच रहा है ज़्यादा. मगर
Exactly. And
अब से, हाँ बोलो.
नहीं, एंड वही राइजिंग टाइड पॉजिटिव फीडबैक लूप यहाँ पे भी आ रहा है. यू स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन द नॉर्थ ईस्ट, इट बिकम्स सेफर. दोस पीपल aren't so anti mainland, quote unquote mainland Indian anymore. That means you're getting much more tourists who are going there, because now we are discovering that fuck bro, the
Exactly.
northeast is so pretty, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. तो वहां जाओ, वहां
Yeah.
घूमने जा रहे हो ज्यादा लोग, so it is a positive feedback loop. More
हाँ.
money, and that money going to the state governments will also go for the conservation of their, their way of lives.
हाँ. वरुण देव इज सेइंग समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट ये तो भाई बहुत हिंदुत्व सोशलिस्ट के दिमाग में घुसेगा ही नहीं. बोल रहे हैं कि दादा, इवन इफ वी हैम्पर आवर ग्रोथ बाय कंजर्विंग ट्रीज एंड एनवायरनमेंट, अदर कंट्रीज वोंट फॉलो इट. दे विल बिकम मोर पावरफुल, वी विल बी वीक एंड एनवायरनमेंट वोंट बी सेव्ड एनीवेज. हम रहेंगे ही नहीं. तब एनवायरनमेंट कौन बचाएगा? हम भिखारी होके मर जाएंगे, तब पूरा का पूरा देश
हाँ नहीं,
जंगल रह जाएगा. हाँ.
हाँ पूरा देश जंगल हो जाएगा. हम छोड़ो ना, क्यों क्यों क्या विश्व गुरु बनना है, बुर्किना फासो बन जाते, छोड़ो ना.
हाँ. हाँ.
That's stupidity है ये. Like that
विश्व
is the
जंगल.
thing that I Vishwa Jungle, exactly. That is the whole thing ना कि that is the whole irritation that I have with the whole. We need to bring back those, क्या बोलते थे वो ancient India के जो schools है. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name.
हाँ.
Was Vidya, whatever those paramparas and all of that.
Yeah.
Like okay, that time's past, man. If you want to teach people our ancient traditions, do that in the modern school now. Why a Gurukul? Why do you want to do a renaming, rebranding? 20% will be all of that parampara pratishtha stuff. 80%
Yeah.
will still be STEM, na.
Unless they mean they are going to learn under the trees. If that is so, let me see how many upper middle class Gurukul fans send their kids. तब सनातन
कोई नहीं
टेम्पल
जाएगा यार.
चाहिए होगा.
हाँ हाँ एग्जैक्टली सर, वो 26 to 28 डिग्री ही चाहिए होता है लोगों को.
हाँ.
तो इनफैक्ट इंडोर गुरुकुल बना दो. लाइक
हाँ.
हाउ डज nomenclature मैटर? हाउ डज इट मैटर? What matters is the material that you're delivering to the students over there, na. Call it a school, call it whatever.
Nomen-
I don't even have a problem with missionary schools as long as it teaches the right things. How does it matter?
या नॉमेनक्लेचर का तो प्रॉब्लम है कि नॉमेनक्लेचर में जो लोग ज़्यादा नॉमेनक्लेचर को लेकर ऑब्सेस्ड रहेंगे, वो उन लोगों को समझ में नहीं आएगा कि नॉमेनक्लेचर को लेकर ऑब्सेस करने से ही तुम्हारा मारा जाएगा गांड सबसे पहले. क्योंकि कोई भी अब सिर्फ नाम गुरुकुल देकर फिर क्वालिटी कुछ भी सिखाएगा. क्लासेस नहीं होंगे, पैसे लेके भाग जाएंगे, ये सब भी होगा. क्योंकि उनको पता है मैंने नाम संस्कृत रख दिया है, अब लोग आएंगे मेरे पास. तो
अरे I swear,
अगर ये नैरेटिव बैटल के तौर पे किया जाता है, देन आई डोंट सी अ प्रॉब्लम कि हाँ, स्कूल कॉन्सेप्ट को ही हम गुरुकुल बोलते हैं, मगर वो भी बोल कैसे सकते हैं. मतलब गुरुकुल तो एग्जैक्टली नहीं है, कुल भी नहीं है, गुरु भी नहीं है, तो हम हर स्कूल को भी गुरुकुल एज सच नहीं बोल सकते. तो देन वी विल हैव टू, आई गेस, मूव ऑन फ्रॉम इट.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, what fits fits. What doesn't fit doesn't fit. I follow Kushal's ideology over here. कि एंटी कॉलोनियलिटी का जरूरत नहीं है, एंटी एब्राहमाइजेशन का जरूरत है, डी एब्राहमाइजेशन का जरूरत है. लाइक आई एम सॉरी, a lot of these colonial ideas were good. If they were good, why not take it? India has been a syncretic culture. अगर है ही तो हमें सिर्फ क्या हर कल्चर का खराब चीज ही लेना, अच्छा चीज ले लो for once.
Yeah.
So I don't get this entire decoloniality ideology as a whole. I mean, why do you want to go back to a system that failed you in the past? Move forward, yeah. Take what's good, leave behind what's bad, and keep moving forward. And
think
don't make this
that's
mistake
the-
that I did.
Yeah.
I bought Ola Electric, the Ola scooter company का shares, and I'm paying for it because वो लोग nationalism कर रहा था, but product खराब.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you
वही है.
say, as long as you deliver the right thing, it's fine.
ये तो क्लासिक राइट विंग कंजर्वेटिव और राइट विंग प्रोग्रेसिव का डिबेट है जो तुम बोल रहे हो, मगर यही
Yeah.
किसी ना किसी दिन तो हमको करना ही है.
वही है ना बात, ये people keep falling into this left wing trap of having the right words and having the right nomenclature. Just put it in simple terms, put it in straightforward language. That's how you connect the masses to it. Otherwise, the masses will not care about it because it will be मतलब too much. लोगों के पास time नहीं होता है सब सोचने का.
Yes. Okay then.
Alright,
Thanks, Rishabh. You can join again later if you have something to add.
sure, thanks. Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah. Rishi is saying your LPI friends have gone full retard, by the way. On what issue? I have not followed Twitter really at all in the last few days. The one thing I saw they created a lot of controversy with is that letting people settle here, and then right wingers started saying that okay, so you're fine with all Pakistanis and all Bangladeshis coming here and settling. Yeah, that's going to happen anyway. If it happen illegally ही कोई रोक नहीं रहा है, legally तो कोई रोकेगा भी नहीं, because that's just how economics work. तो हम हर पार्टी में हर किसी को कुछ थोड़ा बहुत पैसा खिला देंगे. अगर सच में इंडिया वैसा इमिग्रेशन हब बन जाता है तो भाई डेमोग्राफी तो फिर भी शिफ्ट होगा, मगर तब थोड़ा बहुत एडुकेटेड लोग आएंगे, क्रीम ऑफ द क्रॉप आएंगे. मेकाल हसन जैसे कि 2020 से 2000 आई थिंक 24 तक इंडिया बेस्ड म्यूजिशियन बन गया था. मेकाल हसन बैंड इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट फ्यूजन बैंड्स टू हैव हैपेंड इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ मैनकाइंड. मेकाल हसन बैंड मैंने क्लास 9 में सुना था. तब से ही माई इंटरेस्ट इन इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ अ गॉडडैम पाकिस्तानी बैंड. Now that Mekkal Hassan band quit Pakistan. They were officially an India-based band. They were living in Mumbai because not all of their members are let's say permanent. Only Mekkal Hassan, the guitarist, he is also a Berkeley Jazz Composition graduate, just like Prasanna Ramaswamy, who is also probably the best classical guitarist, fusion classical jazz guitarist in India. He plays Indian classical, Carnatic classical, as well as complete jazz. He's also a pass out from Berkeley College of Music in jazz composition. So is Mekkal Hassan. Now, Mekkal Hassan's flute player Asan Papu and Mekkal Hassan, those two are the only guys who are the constants in the band. Everyone else changes. Now, their vocalist Javed Bashir, who was the reason they became such a hit, but of course Mekkal Hassan's arrangements were also a factor. Even Javed Bashir got kicked out after becoming famous because of Mekkal Hassan band. Javed Bashir sang some songs in Bollywood as well. Then Shormishta Chatterjee or Acharjee, a Bengali girl, she became the vocalist of Mekkal Hassan band for all these years because it was a Mumbai-based band. Shormishta Chatterjee or Acharya is the vocalist who has sung the main theme jingle of Sacred Games. Okay, that girl, that woman. Now Mekkal Hassan band is based in Canada क्योंकि अब इंडिया में भी बहुत टाइम टाइट जा रहा है पाकिस्तानियों का, इसलिए इंडिया भी छोड़ दिया है. तो ऐसे लोग जो कि सच में ग्लोबल सिटीजन्स हैं, ऐसे लोग आते फिरेंगे इंडिया में. लीगल सिटीजनशिप से पूरा का पूरा पाकिस्तान, पूरा का पूरा बांग्लादेश नहीं आता है. एंड लिबर्टेरियन पार्टी इज सेइंग, टॉकिंग अबाउट आई थिंक मेनली अबाउट लीगल इमिग्रेशन. इलीगल इमिग्रेशन में तो आई फॉरगॉट व्हाट द स्टांस इज. कैसे कैसे चूतिया लोग इंडियंस पैदा होते हैं. आई डू वंडर सम टाइम इफ ज्योति बासु एंड ममता बनर्जी हैड दिस बेसिक लॉजिक लाइक व्हाट वरुण देवर हैड रिगार्डिंग प्रोटेक्टिंग एनवायरनमेंट, बंगाल वुड हैव बीन डिफरेंट. यस, शर्मिष्ठा बैनर्जी, তাই চক্রবর্তী no? Mekkal Hassan lead singer is a BBK. What is Shormishta Chatterjee's let's see, title? Shormishta Chatterjee. Okay, not Banerjee. I have no problem with Kushal, but I notice in most of his podcasts he makes everything about himself, how great and virtuous he is. Yeah, it has got to his head. Shayak, we are basically talking about everything, but we started with mainly Bengal Files teaser. So Divya, yes, it has got to his head a little, and we can't really blame too much on him because it was bound to happen. He was a pioneer in this field. He has lost his cool and temper. He doesn't have patience anymore. Some patience, so I keep losing every day, and he has been doing this for more than 10-15 years than me. तो थोड़ा तो मतलब गुस्सा होगा ही, टेम्पर लूज करेंगे ही. We would have progressed much more under British. Yeah, Ryuko is saying Bancho तो Indian independence भी wrong था. We would have progressed much more under the British colonization. No, Ryuko. Indian independence was not right or wrong because of whether progress was happening or not. It was the right thing to do because they were making the lives of Indians hell. प्रोग्रेस सिर्फ तो पेपर पे नहीं होता है कि हाँ मैं अमीर हूँ, फिर भी लौड़े हमको जब भी आके कोई उठा लेके जाता है, सर्वेलेंस करता है 24/7, जबकि अब तो टेक्नोलॉजिकली वैसे भी होगा। तो वैसा बेटरमेंट कोई भी ह्यूमन को कभी भी चाहिए नहीं होता है, especially once there is a discourse of freedom and stuff because of liberal arts education which was done by the British themselves. अभी अगर कोई मान लो कि ऐसा बिना फ्रीडम का कोई देश है, वहाँ पे तो लोग जाते हैं, चाइना, कतार एक्सेट्रा, बहरेन, यूएई इवन, ऐसे जगह में तो लोग काम करने जाते हैं। तो तब का ब्रिटिश इंडिया जो था, उससे आई थिंक किसी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता। तो यस, there's a lot of people today in India who think they would not have liked British India. A huge chunk of them also would have absolutely preferred British India. But anyway, you are obviously criticizing our stance on environment and stuff. But yes, progress and prosperity comes first because no one else is going to care about it anyway. तो तुम मुझको बोलो कि भिखारी बन के हमने क्या उखाड़ा है अभी तक? हमने तो बहुत सारे स्टेप्स ऐसे लिए हैं ना, जिसकी वजह से हम भिखारी रह गए। तो जब हम एनवायरमेंटलिज्म के चक्कर में और भी भिखारी रहेंगे और बाकी सब एनवायरमेंटलिज्म ना करके अमीर हो जाएंगे, तब बोलो क्या होगा? अमीर और गरीब में कोई फर्क रहेगा? तो गरीब देश का अमीर देश गांड मारेगा? तो अगर मारेगा, देन वी हैव टू वरी अबाउट दिस। They completely exhausted and drained India. Kushal's case is similarly like secular talks. Oh my god, Kyle, I can't stand anymore. Fuck. I don't think Kushal is that big of a dumb fuck as Kyle. Although if you say you are libertarian but X, I am libertarian but Y, तो उसका भी कुछ लिमिट होना चाहिए। Shaik is saying binge watching cast files of yours with not yes this time just covered Declan quick. This is gonna have a field day with playlists I prepare. Thank you, nice. AM said India even stopped being productive after 1919. Dada, can you check my comments on unlearning economics question? YouTube is deleting my comments, so I can't. रुको एक मिनट। Varundev, I can't see any comment of yours. Yeah, Dada, YouTube channel Unlearning Economics have debunked Thomas Well arguments. Please debunk them. No one has. No video on YouTube should stay undebunked which criticize Well. या भाई, उनका तो वीडियो का लेंथ है 2.5 घंटा 4 घंटा लगता है थॉमस वेल का एक आर्ग्यूमेंट डिबंक करने में। तो बोझो कितना उसमें इंग्लिश लिटरेचर का हेल्प लगता होगा। एक्सक्यूज मी, अब 2.5 घंटे 3 घंटे का कैसे डिबंकिंग वीडियो बनाए? Kushal is still a great asset for right wing. He is a guy with steady anchor. Yeah, there are still great things that Kushal brings to the table. First of all, he's a great asset, and in order to attract many urban guys to the conversation who still think Hindutva. So I was one of them. I got convinced of the right wing argument because of Kushal Mehra only, because of him speaking in English, in the way he spoke English, and because he wears t-shirt. These things matter. Looks matter. Many people will subscribe to channels which have a guy wearing a tika and it's Indian clothes in their body. The YouTuber doing it will have to look that way, and only then some people will subscribe. And therefore, Kushal के channel में भी कुछ specific kind तरह के लोग ही आएंगे, specific consumption pattern के लोग ही आएंगे. And if that guy is in the end a right winger, that's great. But what's the bigger? Why he's a bigger asset? Not for this reason. It's because he still does some heavy criticism of BJP. Often he doesn't. In some factors he defends BJP tooth and nail. But in many other factors where no one else in the influencer market has the remotest balls to criticize BJP, there he does it. So he's overall a net positive, I think. Ryoku is saying Kushal has good arguments. He cannot sustain that argument long enough. That's the problem. Yeah, he has not too much patience. As the next coming, Dada, you're so right. Right, yeah, exactly. I'm saying yes, exactly. So you're so right for saying I'm right, lol. Unlearning economics is a Keynesian, post-Keynesian, big government centralized economic eye. When these things stop mattering, I will consider that we have won. Yeah. Counter only unique points. उतना मेरा पेशेंस ही नहीं है कि मैं 3 घंटे का थॉमस वेल डिबंकिंग वीडियो देखूंगा आज के डेट में। मैं इंडिया से हूँ, इंडिया में हर दिन थॉमस वेल का सपोर्टिव आर्ग्यूमेंट्स ऑब्जर्व करके ही बीत जाता है मेरा. Dada, have your views on Jordan Peterson evolved or changed? I am acknowledging that he is losing his edge, but I will say some of it might be cognitive decline because of his age, and some of it is Jordan Peterson made one mistake, which I would have made had it not been for probably Kushal Mehra and some of my earlier videos and the reactions to my earlier videos as well, which Jordan Peterson did not do. He set a trap for himself where he has fallen now. जॉर्डन पीटरसन का अभी जो प्रॉब्लम्स चल रहा है हर जगह पे क्रिश्चियनिटी को लेकर, एंड ये तो अभी तो एक जगह पे क्लाइमैक्स हो गया कि पूरा मतलब हाथ के बाहर चला गया सिचुएशन. बाकी जगह में बहुत जगह बार बार 1-1.5 साल से 2 साल से चल रहा था. रिचर्ड डॉकिंस के साथ, वो फिलोसोफर यूट्यूबर के साथ चल रहा था कि कहीं पे जाके जॉर्डन पीटरसन अचानक घटिया आर्ग्यूमेंट देना शुरू कर देते हैं. बट दैट इज बिकॉज ही वॉज अ लाइफ लॉन्ग प्रोफेसर. सिर्फ टीचिंग में ही थे, वेर यू आर नॉट गेटिंग, यू आर नॉट रियली दैट रिच, एंड you are on YouTube teaching so many people. So after a lifetime of just being middle class, all of a sudden you take a courageous stance on one thing and it shoots your career through the stratosphere. And then Maps of Meaning was not a best-selling book. 12 Rules for Life becomes a best-selling book, and then you realize now whatever you write or say has a gigantic market. तो भाई इतना सारा पैसा कौन दूर कर देगा, क्योंकि वो पैसा एक्सेप्ट करने का एक डील विद द डेविल करना है. तुमको अपना क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, ट्रू लिबरल साइड छोड़ना है, तुमको क्रिश्चियन खेलना है. यही एक जो ट्रैप है, इस ट्रैप में बहुत इंडिया के राइट विंगर यूट्यूबर्स, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स भाई फंसे हैं. अभी दिख नहीं रहा है तुमको, जिस दिन बीजेपी हटेगा पावर से ये दिखेंगे तुमको, ठीक है. जॉर्डन पीटरसन का प्रॉब्लम है कि वो इन दी एंड हमारे जैसे है, मेरे जैसे है, कुशल जैसे है, सावरकर जैसे है, मगर उनको खेलना है क्रिश्चियन. आई गेस ही हैज पिक्ड अ साइड. तो भाई पॉलिटिकली खेलो ना सावरकर के जैसे. तुमने थियोलॉजी में घुसने का गलती कर लिया. एक तो तुम आधे हो नीजियन, आधे हो यूंगियन. कार्ल यूंग और नीजा दोनों के बहुत बड़े फैंस हैं जॉर्डन पीटरसन. अब तुम नीजा के फैन बनोगे और नीजा को जस्टिफाई करना चाहोगे एट द सेम टाइम व्हेन यू आर जस्टिफाइंग क्रिश्चियन थियोलॉजी. ये जो बहुत घटिया या फिर इवल सिनिस्टर जो होप था, ये कब तक चलता? एक ट्रू नीजा फैन कब तक क्रिश्चियनिटी डिफेंड करेगा? नहीं होगा. उनका सब्सक्राइबर काउंट कम हो जाएगा, इसलिए वो क्रिश्चियन खेलते फिरते हैं और अब लौड़े लग रहे हैं. जो ट्रैप में मुझे नहीं गिरना है, ये मुझे बहुत पहले समझ आ गया. इसलिए 3 साल से मेरा 14,500 सब्सक्राइबर है, मगर आई कैन स्टिल बी माई सेल्फ. कुशल कैन स्टिल बी हिमसेल्फ. हमने डिवाउट हिंदू खेलने का कभी कोशिश नहीं किया. हमने बोला कि देखिए भाई, मेरा अपब्रिंगिंग ऐसा है, मेरा ये पसंदीदा टी शर्ट है, म्यूजिक है, मगर हिंदू तो मैं हूँ ही. अब थ्रेट भी वहाँ मैं मुझे दिख रहा है, हाँ रियली थ्रेट एक्चुअली है. तो हम जो जानते हैं उस बेसिस पे हम जो ठीक लग रहा है उसे ठीक कहेंगे, जहाँ जो गलत लग रहा है वहाँ पे हम उसको गलत कहेंगे. हमने हर अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट को संस्कृत नाम देके लोगों को गांडू बनाने का कोशिश नहीं किया. तो सनातन टेम्परेचर वगैरह आर्ग्यूमेंट के ट्रैप में हम नहीं फंसते हैं. जॉर्डन पीटरसन फंस गया है. अब वो आई थिंक नहीं निकल पाएंगे उससे. Richard Dawkins also did a frog jump to Christian culture to protect his arts. Duku, here I will say it was technically, chronologically speaking, it was a frog jump, but in the end his position is the same as that of Savarkar. Therefore, I won't criticize Richard Dawkins for having this position now, but of course we can criticize him for jumping to that position right now conveniently, but the position in itself is not inherently flawed. Christianity doesn't have the logical rigor or the history of cutthroat argumentative history like Hinduism. Yes, इसीलिए जॉर्डन पीटरसन को लड़े लग रहे हैं. जिन्होंने इतना सब कुछ पढ़ लिया है. He knows Nietzsche inside out. He knows Christianity inside out. He knows they can't be reconciled. और डिबेटिंग स्किल्स भी उनका है हमेशा से. उनका तो मेन भाई, उनका फेम कैसे हुआ था, जो पहले 2 दिन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोरंटो में उनको हेकल किया जा रहा था, उस दिन उन्होंने अपना टेम्पर नहीं खोया. तो he is known for being astute, erudite, articulate and for not having a temper. तो अब वो टेम्पर भी लूज कर रहे हैं क्योंकि ही इज एट द एंड ऑफ द रोड. ही इज ट्राइंग टू रिकनसाइल टू थिंग्स विच कैन नॉट बी रिकनसाइल्ड. अब इससे निकलना नामुमकिन है. डॉकिंस मर गया ना. नहीं, तुम उसके, बहुत सारे लोग उसके आत्मा को मारना चाहते हैं मगर वो जिंदा है. Savarkar is the biggest enemy of RSS and BJP, yes. You should see Kushal cooking the four horsemen in his earlier videos. Yeah. Nope, people are so fast to blame everything on cognitive decline. His basics were not right to begin with. Christianity is not a faith you can defend logically until the end. Yes, but allow me, please, indulge me, I'm saying. As a long time Jordan Peterson fan, थोड़ा cognitive decline को भी दोष देने दो. Although it might not be that. It might be that to some extent. It might not be that at all. But it just might be a little bit of cognitive decline as well. क्योंकि टेम्पर भी लूज कर रहे हैं either because of frustration के कारण enlightenment era रेनेसा निजा को लेकर मैं क्रिश्चियन मॉरलिटी के साथ रिकंसाइल करूंगा. His basics were not right to. Now you are saying that Christianity is not a faith you can defend logically until the end. You can if you defend it like a Muslim. Muslim debaters are never hypocrites, which is why everyone loses a debate with Muslims. Because it's not a debating culture. We have discussed this previously also, no? Like Richard Spencer, Robert Spencer, the guy who is famous among Indian right-wingers for writing so many books against Islam. That guy lost the debate in Patrick Bet-David's podcast when debating two white Muslim guys. कि इन दी एंड वो बोलेंगे कि देखो हम हिपोक्रेसी पॉइंट आउट कर रहे हैं, क्या तुम चाहोगे अगर यूएसए में शरिया लॉ हो तो लोगों को मार दिया जाए? एंड दे सिट एंड से यस. हाँ, तो अगर क्रिश्चियनिटी में कोई ऐसा अगर निर्लज आदमी है जो कि बोलेगा फिर से हाँ कन्वर्ट के लिए सब सही है, हाँ करना ही तो चाहिए, हाँ इनफिडल सब बहुत वाले हैं, हाँ तुमको तो पियर्सिंग वेल ऑफ क्रिश्चियनिटी तुम्हारे दिमाग तक नहीं पहुंचा है, तुमको सैल्वेशन तो चाहिए, तो मैं सैल्वेशन तुम्हारे मुंह में घुसाऊंगा जोर जबरदस्ती. तो ये अगर कोई क्रिश्चियन नहीं बोलता है तब जॉर्डन पीटरसन जैसा हाल होगा. और ये तो जॉर्डन पीटरसन नहीं बोलेगा मर जाने के बाद भी, क्योंकि उतना भोसरी वाला है नहीं जॉर्डन पीटरसन. सच में कुछ पढ़ा है, सच में ज्ञान है उनके अंदर अभी भी लेक्स फ्रीडमैन में 1-2 साल पहले, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर ओनली, उनका एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ निज्जा सुनो. और फिर पहले का तो बाद ही दो, 2017 के पहले तक उनका जो लेक्चर्स है वो तो फकिंग गोल्ड कंटेंट है. उनका हार्वर्ड में जो लेक्चर सीरीज है 1997 का ऑन मैप्स ऑफ मीनिंग, फिर 45 मिनट्स ऑन अ सिंगल पैराग्राफ ऑफ निज्जा, ये सब तो जॉर्डन पीटरसन का गोल्ड कंटेंट है, फ्री में पब्लिक के लिए दिया हुआ है. वो आदमी कैसे बोलेगा कि हाँ इनफिडल को मारना चाहिए? अगर वो नहीं बोलोगे तब तो क्रिश्चियनिटी डिफेंड नहीं कर पाओगे. अब डिफेंड करने के पैसे मिलते हैं तब, अब पैसों के लिए करोगे तो कुछ तो लौड़े लगने ही थे. इफ सावरकर वॉज एक्टिव नाउ मोदी वुड हैव हिम इन जेल. These clowns would never ever comment on the eastern side of desert. Why do we have to care about Jordan Peterson? We need to worry about academic man more and growing his tribe more. No. First of all, by talking about Jordan Peterson, it doesn't mean therefore I lost time talking about academic man. Secondly, if you ignore significant players in the global circuit in the sport you are playing, you are going to lose. Which is why Hindus have lost the narrative every time. You are always late to the party and then you complain about the party. You will always say that who cares what he thinks. Then he becomes influential about your country and society. Then you say arrest him. You will tag Jaishankar and say MEA arrest this man. How can he say this bro? और 5 मिनट पहले बोल रहे थे who cares. अब भी बोलो, जब तुम्हारा गण जलता है किसी के बात से तब जाके बोलो कि who cares what he says. Richard Dawkins had that Christian cultural position from 2006 itself. Then why are people saying it's a new thing? That David Woods has new arguments on Christianity. What are your views on him? I don't follow his channel that much because again critiquing Islam में अब रखा क्या है? मैंने तो संजय दीक्षित बहुत सुन लिया है, पढ़ लिया है, मुझे पता है हाँ प्रॉब्लम्स है इस्लाम में. अब इस्लाम में प्रॉब्लम्स है ये जानने का मेरा कोई बाकी नहीं, which is why I don't invite ex-Muslims. हाँ इस्लाम खराब है कि अच्छा है ये जान के मैं क्या उखाड़ लूंगा भाई. डंडे लेके जो आएंगे उससे मुझे बचना है. इस्लाम खराब हो या बुरा हो या अच्छा हो मुझे उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, क्योंकि आसपास बहुत सारे हैं डेजर्ट होमीज जो कि भोसरी वाले हैं, तो इसलिए मैं डेविड वुड को फॉलो नहीं करता हूँ. आदित्य प्रसाद इज सेइंग दादा डोंट यू थिंक कांग्रेस फक्ड अप बंगाल मोर देन एनी अदर पार्टी बीइंग इन सेंटर एंड आई थिंक आफ्टर सैम हैरिस डिबेट जेपी वाज एक्चुअली नेवर द सेम. कांग्रेस फक्ड अप बंगाल मोर देन एनी अदर पार्टी. नो, Congress definitely played the initial role, but 77 तक 2006 तक तो मतलब जैसे एक माँ अपने बच्चे को नर्चर करती है, तो सीपीएम ने नर्चर करके गांड मारा है वेस्ट बंगाल का। देखो मतलब ऐसे कितना भोले बच्चे हूँ, आज तुमको ऐसे ऐसे तुमको हार्म किया जाएगा, आज तुमको ऐसे हार्म किया जाएगा, पूरा पूरा केयरफुली प्लान प्रोग्राम करके मारा गया है, लिया गया है बंगाल का। I think after Sam Harris debate, JP was actually never the same. I disagree. You mean the old ones, though? From the ones from 2018, yeah, 17, in the ones that happened in two parts. Those debates of Sam Harris versus JP, there I actually like JP's arguments more, because there Jordan Peterson actually ended up predicting Hindutva in a way, because the main handicap of Jordan Peterson in that situation was he was considering any religion to be a religion, which are considered to be religion, but in the end he was going on talking about Islam, Christianity and Judaism, and Sam Harris was going on saying that, yes Jordan, but this is not applicable for Hinduism, yes Jordan, this is not applicable for Buddhism. At one point Jordan Peterson finally says that yes, but then maybe they will head more towards this, this meaning all the good things about Abrahamism, okay, and which is kind of true. Hindutva will create a more Abrahamized Hinduism. एक पिन पॉइंट करना, थोड़ा ही कंसेंसस बनाना, पॉलिटिकली चीज़ें सोचना, विच इज़ द मेन आई थिंक मेन डिफॉल्ट पोजिशन ऑफ इस्लाम एंड क्रिश्चियनिटी, वो सब तो हम कर रहे हैं, हम करना चाह रहे हैं. सो फार वी आर सेइंग दैट या ठीक है, थियोलॉजी हमारे लिए नहीं है, थियोलॉजिकल डिबेट करना है, तो वैसे भी थियोलॉजिकल डिबेट करे किससे भाई? जिसको जो पसंद नहीं आता है स्क्रिप्चर में, वो बोल देगा कि नहीं तुमने गलत ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ा है. तो ये लौड़े एंडलेस गलत ट्रांसलेशन का चुतियापा में मुझे तो नहीं घुसना है. तो हम जैसे लोग इसलिए नॉन रिलीजियस हिंदुत्व कर रहे हैं, मगर किसी ना किसी दिन जब हिंदुत्व मेन स्ट्रीम होगा, विच इज़ अ फार क्राई राइट नाउ, जब मेन स्ट्रीम होगा हिंदुइज्म में भी वो चेंज आ जाएगा. तो देयरफॉर जॉर्डन पीटरसन वाज एक्चुअली करेक्ट. I have a prediction: the day India gets to 10k per capita income will make Christ the postmodern Peterson. Dada, do you plan to start a production house? Because I have a lot of stories to tell. Here to learn. Actually, yes. And I look forward to reading your stuff. That is wants brainless zombies, because then they can feel superior. Jordan Peterson is having his Tony Ferguson. Yes. Muslims are the prime example. Don't debate with a fool. Yeah. Alex O'Connor's podcast. Yes. Is it just me, or is it more difficult to win debate against ill-informed people rather than informed? Yes. Which is why I'm saying, never debate a leftist unless you are getting paid for it, or it's your friend, or people are watching it. Because you'll probably never convince a leftist by debating them. You'll only convince some audience members by metaphorically beating the shit out of a commie in a debate. I was actually surprised that Jordan Peterson couldn't define Marxism. What do you mean by define? ये जो जिस दिन से जॉर्डन पीटरसन ने हर प्रश्न में शुरू कर दिया, तब से ही हमको समझ लेना चाहिए था कि उनका एंड ऑफ द रोड आ गया है. क्योंकि पहले जब वो बोलते थे हर प्रश्न में ही व्हाट डू मीन बाय XYZ, तब वो एक्चुअली वैलिड था. अभी भी बहुत क्वेश्चंस में, बहुत सिचुएशंस में वो वैलिड तौर पे ही बोलते हैं कि व्हाट डू मीन बाय इट, बिकॉज पीपल आर नॉट फकिंग प्रिसाइज स्पीकर्स एट ऑल, एंड ही इज अ वेरी प्रिसाइज स्पीकर एक्सेप्ट ऑन क्रिश्चियनिटी ऑफ कोर्स. तो everyone must mean what they are saying and say what they mean, and people usually don't do that. It's just something we're not really taught to focus on, and therefore he clarifies the premises first, but then he started using it as a tool and a crutch to defend Christianity anyway. जब डिबेट में थोड़ा लगेगा कि अच्छा ओ शिट मामला हाथ से बाहर जा रहा है, तभी बोल देंगे व्हाट डू मीन बाय दैट. Which faith, religious or otherwise, can be logical when brought to their logical conclusions? Sanatan Dharma. If you take the route of Savarkar, of course, that acharas are not Sanatan, the way of looking at the world is Sanatan. Some things are Sanatan, some things are not Sanatan. No, communists fucked up Bengal and Congress much more. Yeah. Bengal was a powerhouse. Yeah. When was the last time you got your HB check, bro? HB, what is HB? High blood pressure. I don't know what's HB. Isn't Arya Samaj already doing this? Yes. Slavin, thanks for your support, but it is important to develop both your own side and learn about the competition. Does anyone here found anything interesting Zizek's arguments? Not yet. And especially I was annoyed with Zizek for kind of deliberately betraying or being a bad faith actor in his debate with Jordan Peterson, because it was a fucking a debate between... what Jordan Peterson did now with those atheists, वो हरामीपंती स्लावो जिजेक ने जॉर्डन पीटरसन के साथ किया है 6 साल पहले. डिबेट है मार्क्सिज्म एंड कैपिटलिज्म के बीच में. जॉर्डन पीटरसन मेक्स द ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट्स, ही क्रिटिसाइजेस मार्क्स, कम्युनिज्म, and he has prepared all of it. He is giving all those counters to the hypothetical things that he knows will actually come from Zizek. Zizek gets up and says, I'm not a Marxist, I'm not a communist, I'm a Hegelian, bro. तो पूरा का पूरा डिबेट पे पानी डाल दिया जाता है और पूरा का पूरा डिबेट फिर वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम होता है हर सबका. जिन लोगों ने टिकट खरीदा, भोसरी के डिबेट करने आया है एक प्रपोजिशन के साइड से, आके बोल रहा है कि आई डोंट इवन बिलीव इन दैट प्रपोजिशन. ये हरामीपंथी के वजह से मुझे कभी जिजेक ठीक आदमी नहीं लगा. और उसके बाद तो मैंने उनका कमेंट्स ऑन गीता भी पढ़ लिया, तब पता चला कि ये अब मुझसे नहीं होगा. नॉट बिकॉज he said offensive things about Gita, but because the specific criticisms he made against Gita are the ones I can't stand. The only solution is removing factual law introduced by Zizek ka coke concept. Yes, coke and Hegel. I lost debate against my mom on socialism. हाँ, ये तो होगा ही. I don't like this fact that Hinduism will be Abrahamized by Hindutva. It needs to be taken care of. That plurality of the faith remain. होगा नहीं शायद. Ideally, we should do it, but I don't think it can happen that way. Jordan Peterson and Slavoj Zizek would make a great double. हाँ, दोनों ही अब माहिर बन गए हैं in betraying the topic itself. HB is hemoglobin. I think last time my hemoglobin was checked when I was in the hospital because of my surgeries. Are you saying because of my dark knuckles and stuff? Pigmentation in my knuckles and stuff. That has forever been the case though. And I do knuckle push-ups as well. But I tell people to watch the movie The Materialists. It's all about marriage and caste. Oh yes. You all must check out this movie called The Materialists. He will do a small write-up and stuff. Zizek thinks he's tough. Yeah, Chitya. टफ होता तो जॉर्डन पीटरसन को आमने सामने डिबेट करता 56 इंच छाती लेके. हाँ है कम्युनिज्म बेहतर, हाँ मार्क्सिज्म बेहतर है भोसरी के. वो सब नहीं तो मैं तो हेगलियन हूँ. और फिर इसमें भी, इस बात पे भी मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आया था जिजेक के ऊपर, क्योंकि वो बोल रहे थे कि पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट और मार्क्सिस्ट में कोई अलायंस कोलिशन कुछ है ही नहीं कहीं पे, क्योंकि he's thinking like a Dumo, he's thinking like Louis Dumo on caste, okay, कि हर चीज़ भाई थ्योरी से ही आता है, रियल लाइफ में कुछ अलग नहीं होता है. तो वो बोल रहा है कि भाई लॉजिकली अगर देखा जाए पोस्ट मॉडर्निज्म के साथ मार्क्सिज्म का क्या कनेक्शन हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है, देयरफॉर हो भी नहीं रहा है. मगर हर जगह पे तो पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट और मार्क्सिस्ट कोलिशन बनाते फिर रहे हैं. वो जॉर्डन पीटरसन पॉइंट आउट कर रहा था. जिजेक ने बोला कि नहीं, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है, क्योंकि एक्चुअल पोस्ट मॉडर्निज्म के कैनन में, थियोलॉजी ऑफ पोस्ट मॉडर्निज्म में जो है वो तो कांट बी रिकंसाइल्ड विद मार्क्स, देयरफॉर वो रियलिटी में भी नहीं है. दैट कैन बी अ थियोरेटिकल आर्गुमेंट इन द सेंस दैट yes, the postmodernists who are in fact meeting up and doing a coalition with Marxists, they are not true postmodernists and these people are not true Marxists. तो फिर भी वो बैड फेथ एक्टर ही हुआ, क्योंकि अब क्या करे, तो सारे के सारे पोस्टमॉडर्निस्ट तो भोसरी के सारे मार्क्सिस्ट के साथ हाथ मिला रहे हैं हर यूनिवर्सिटी में पूरे दुनिया में. तो क्या मान ली ये सब गलत है, सिर्फ तुम्हारा कैनन को लेकर पड़े रहे, सिर्फ तुम्हारा स्क्रिप्चर देखे पोस्टमॉडर्निज्म का, उसका रियल लाइफ इंप्लीकेशंस नहीं देखेंगे. इन सब को गलत पोस्टमॉडर्निज्म आता है और गलत मार्क्सिज्म आता है. असली चीज सिर्फ और सिर्फ जिजेक भाई को समझ में आता है. ये फालतू की बातें मुझे पसंद नहीं है. प्लीज बी स्पेसिफिक ऑन रिचर्ड डॉकिंस, हाउ टू क्लेम हिम लाइक इरफान हबीब. I'm not sure because I have never really listened to him all that much, because I was never atheist because of listening to somebody. I was born and raised in an atheist surrounding. Okay? Obviously I'll be atheist, so therefore I never had the chance to listen to his arguments. Why do Indians consider fair skin as beautiful? Where does it come from and when did it start? British colonialism. No, I think it started with Islamic colonialism. भाई पावर का नेचर ही वो है. वो पावर तुमको सब कुछ में इन्फ्लुएंस कर देता है, कि क्योंकि तुम हर दिन देख रहे हो कि अच्छा वो जो आदमी पावरफुल है, जो कि मेरे ऊपर डंडा घुमा रहा है, उसका खान पान ऐसा है, उसका वेशभूषा ऐसा है, उसका स्किन कलर ऐसा है. तो जनरेशन आफ्टर जनरेशन जब लोग देखते ही फिर है कि यस, फेयर स्किन गाइज आर इन पावर, फेयर स्किन पीपल आर इन पावर, फेयर स्किन पीपल आर इन पावर, कभी ना कभी जाके लगेगा ही कि हाँ, आई गेस फेयर स्किन पीपल आर जस्ट better and superior. Watched an interview of a comrade recently and he told me that they are the only ones who have right to say about Hindus in Bangladesh Then my mind was like, obviously you got your color. You remind me, this is a trip down memory lane. I had actually given this argument to a relative of mine when I was a commie myself. This was word for word what I said, which is why I have so much fun debating commies now. Because it's like whenever I debate a commie, it's like I'm sitting in an exam where I used to be one of those people who used to set the question papers. तो मुझे तो क्वेश्चन पेपर पहले से मालूम है, इसलिए मुझे इतना मज़ा आता है. तो यस, आई ऑल्सो यूज टू से दैट सेम थिंग एंड आई हैड माई एक्सप्लेनेशंस एज वेल कि देखो वो तो उनका देश का मैटर है. हम यहाँ के सेक्युलर्स और लेफ्टिस्ट मुस्लिम्स को बचाएंगे हिंदुत्ववादियों के हाथ से क्योंकि वो माइनॉरिटीज़ है, और वहाँ के लेफ्टिस्ट और सेक्युलर्स वहाँ के हिंदूज को बचाएंगे. वहाँ के हिंदूज के साथ मेरा क्या लेना देना? दैट वाज द स्टफ वी हैव बीन ब्रॉट अप ऑन. सो यस, इट्स अ क्लासिक कॉमी आर्ग्यूमेंट. दादा, डिड यू सी सैम सीडर ऑन पीपीटी पॉडकास्ट? योर व्यू. अरे वरुण देव, थैंक यू फॉर रिमाइंडिंग. हाँ, मैंने लिस्ट करके रखा है, इसका लाइव स्ट्रीम करना पड़ेगा. हाँ, मैंने देखा वो, मुझे तो मज़ा आया. पीपीटी ने तो ठीक से ही धोया. तो अब टीम पूरा नहीं देखा है, हाफ तक देखा है, बाकी लाइव स्ट्रीम में ही देखूंगा इसलिए छोड़ के रखा हूँ. मगर टीम पुल ने स्क्रू अप क्यों किया वो सोचना पड़ेगा. आर्यंस केम टू इंडिया स्प्रेड फेयर स्किन. जैसे कि वो कंस्पिरेसी हाफ ब्लड प्रिंस जिसमें इंपॉर्टेंट है कि चितपावन ब्राह्मण्स आर Jews. Why Sam Cedar was considered so good? Because he has defeated many top-notch or famous right-wing influencers in debates, especially Team Pool. Selfish Gene is a good book, I see. If the BJP and PDP can be in a coalition, anyone can be in a coalition with anyone, lol. Yes. Abraham is not just uniformity but expansive, invasive monopoly over truth and violence against disbelief. Yeah, that's more in the theology side, but in the material world, yes, it's all about invasion and colonialism and imperialism. भाई Reddit local meltdown मारात्मक এইটা নিয়ে. About what, Mayuk Basu? Excuse me. About postmodernists and Marxists being in coalition or not. Let's see. No one roasted Zizek better than Noam Chomsky. Oh, he did. I did not know that. Will Bengal files be released en masse? In Bengal, to no. Mamta might not do something, but I'm not going to go on the first day because I believe there will be attacks in theaters. So I'm not taking that risk. What's the difference between the ideology of Hegel and Marx? Any good place for me to read about it? YouTube videos can suffice. Just Google this sentence. Difference between Hegel and Marx. Or if you have the paid versions of ChatGPT or any other AI, hit deep research and ask them to do a short summary of that. Man, fuck readers, they've even hated by their own parents. At least get all stats in your hand before you talk. Yes. A kid, Shak Tripudi artist who paints Hindu gods told me TMC hated on making Digha temple is equal to Rani Rashmoni hated for Dakshineshwar for being woman. I said you. Key job. Hegel was ideological guy, Marx was materialist. and that gave Zizek enough juice apparently to say that no, you see, I'm not a Marxist, so I'm not going to even take part in this debate in a way. Tim Pool became an embarrassment recently crashed in his own show. I think two things are happening to Tim Pool as well. One is what is happening to Kushal Mehra. He just does not have enough temper anymore and patience anymore, because in this YouTube live stream game you need a whole lot of patience, which I lose so many times even though I have been at it only for 3 years. So, and the other thing might be his finances as well. So the Jordan Peterson thing also might have happened to him, as well as the Kushal Mehra thing. Damn, I have a lot to say on Chitpavan Brahmin being Jews can't say limited words. Dada, please read Agony of West Bengal. I think Congress did more to decline than left, in my opinion. At least Buddhadev Bhattacharya tried, other than most of the commies. See, Buddhadev Bhattacharya ruled 2006 onwards, which is why I said 1977 to 2006. You can't consider just Buddhadev Bhattacharya to be CPIM. That would be akin to saying that postmodernists and Marxists are not in fact doing a coalition with or forming an alliance with each other. No. Buddhadev Bhattacharya is not CPIM. Everyone else is CPIM. Buddhadev Bhattacharya was doing things in spite of CPIMs. cooperation, in spite of CPIM's non-cooperation. He wasn't operating based on CPIM's help for him. No one stood by him. Kushal ran a garments factory or something, yes. Have you read Land of Two Rivers about Bengal? No, that's a legendary book. I'll read it someday. Dada, do you agree with Ajay that Mullah ruling Iran is better for us, so we should oppose? Probably. Which is why we are not. See, they are officially they are our friends only. जब पहलवी शाह पहलवी थे तब तो हमारा फ्रेंड नहीं था, एलाई तो नहीं था. अभी तो एलाई है, तो हम क्या करें. अब कब वो जो फंडिंग ये लोग करते हैं, वो फंडिंग कब भारत में भेजना शुरू कर देंगे फिर मोदी जाने के बाद, तब क्या होगा, उसमें भी प्रॉब्लम रह जाता है. तो आई थिंक इट्स बेस्ट टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम इट. और वैसे अगर पहलवी डायनेस्टी का फिर कोई आदमी बैठ जाता है वहाँ पे, तब ईरान फिर से एक फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड एडजेसेंट कंट्री बन जाएगा. तो अब बंगालियों के बारे में थोड़ा सोचो. कोलकाता में तो नौकरी नहीं मिलने वाला है. अभी हम नौकरी करने के लिए दिल्ली, बॉम्बे, बेंगलोर जाते हैं, यूएस जाते हैं, यूरोप जाते हैं, तब ईरान जाएंगे भोसरी के. और फिर बोलेंगे देखो दिस प्रूव्स जस्ट लाइक यूएई एंड सऊदी अरेबिया नाउ, और जहाँ जहाँ पे हम काम करते हैं, सिंगापुर, मलेशिया फॉर सम रीज़न, इट ऑल शोज दैट मुस्लिम्स कैन बी रियली ग्रेट. तो ईरान में भी काम करने जाएंगे बंगाली, तो थोड़ा ईरान को भी प्रोग्रेस करने दो. Khomeini, Ali of Iran still calls India as a country unsafe for Muslim. Yeah, but officially is our ally. If regime change happens, then Iran, Pakistan will be kind of friends again. Probably. Problem I have with Dawkins is that I am having a hunch that he is wrong, but I am not able to pinpoint my arguments. What do you think I should read more? And some of these atheists are using the atheist logic against Abrahamics and using it against Hinduism. But Shreyans, I would say रीड मोर तो हाँ ऑब्वियस एक उत्तर है ही. रीड तो वैसे भी करना चाहिए, मगर अगर ऐसा कोई क्वेरीज है, थोड़ा चैट जीपीटी को डीप सर्च करने को भी बोलो. थोड़ा बहुत एक जिस तुमको दे सकता है उसका साइटेशन देख के तुम वो साइटेशन कहाँ से निकल रहा है वो देख के वो पढ़ना शुरू कर दो. तब डायरेक्टली तुम सोर्स पे पहुँच पाओगे कि कहाँ तुम्हारा हंच है, क्या वो ठीक है, हंच है कि नहीं. ईरान क्लोजेस्ट स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज एंड यूएसए डायरेक्टली इंटरवीन्स इज अ सीआई स्क्रिप्ट आइडिया. गारमेंट्स फैक्ट्री कितना 3 घंटा हो गया. हाँ अच्छा, तो हम चलते हैं, फिर से मिलेंगे भाई और बहनों. खूब जमेगा रंग जब मिल बैठेंगे हम 50 लोग देख रहे हैं अभी लाइव स्ट्रीम. तो सी यू सून गाइज. नो आउट्रो म्यूजिक फॉर नाउ. व्हेन आई सब्सक्राइब, व्हेन आई हैव सम मनी फॉर सब्सक्राइबिंग टू StreamYard, then again I'll have outro music. Okay, some good points. Let me check them out. What do you think will happen? What do you think, will Hindu refugees give vote to the BJP as CA as a complete failure in Bengal? Hindu refugees already vote for BJP. They are not going to hold grudges. You mean the recent refugees, right? Not the 71 refugees or the 1947 refugees, right? So yeah, the recent ones, the Hindu ones, don't care if BJP was not able to bring in CA, because they know BJP is a net positive in many other ways. The former refugees though are not going to do it, because they are mainly the Brahmins, Boitos, Kaistos of Kolkata, who are absolute commies. Okay, what did Here to Learn ask? Is YouTube good for learning basic mobile filmmaking? Absolutely, Here to Learn. And look for courses on Coursera as well. I don't know if there is one, but there might be. And Coursera is a very very go-to place for me to learn up something in a lot of detail. Cool. Yeah. Okay then. Good night, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.